welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio, 9 February 2025. We have a broadcast tonight which is mostly about love. Let me count the ways. We begin with a little music. The first tune is "Swonderful." This is from the Chesterfield Supper Club. Then we move to Theater Guild of the Air with Boy Meets Girl. The Great Gildersleeve is next with an episode entitled Matchmaker. In Life with Luigi, Luigi has his first date with an American girl. And then we close with the CBS radio mystery, The Golden Girl. Let's get started, shall we?
By transcription.
Chesterfield over and over again. Chesterfield satisfy women and men. Milder, much milder, all smokers agree. Always by Chesterfield, A-B-C.
All over America, it's time to light up those Chesterfields and listen to Bill Lawrence and K-Star. Yes, it's showtime at the Chesterfield Supper Club, and here's your star, Bill Lawrence.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Welcome to the Chesterfield Supper Club. It's wonderful. It's marvelous. You should care for me. It's awful nice. It's paradise. It's what I love to see. You've made memories. You can't blame me for feeling amorous. Oh, it's wonderful. It's marvelous that you should care for me. It's wonderful. Really marvelous. You should care for only me. Awful, awful night, just like paradise. That's what I love to see. My dear, it's four-leaf clover time. From now on, my heart's working overtime. Oh, it's wonderful, marvelous. I'm telling you, it thrills me through that you should care for me.
4th of July weekend. It's a long weekend this year. 3 wonderful days at the beach here in the country, and everybody with a car out on the open road. Friends, you know those ABCs I always talk about? Try and remember them this weekend. They're 2 ways important. When you're driving in your car, ABC. That's always be careful. And when you want a better cigarette, ABC. That's always by Chesterfields. Truly milder, better tasting, cooler smoking. And because of the ever-increasing demand for Chesterfields, because of their ever-increasing popularity, you want to be sure of an ample supply. Take along several cartons. You'll find Chesterfield a mighty pleasant companion on that weekend trip. And to our friends who sell cigarettes, make sure you have plenty of Chesterfields in stock to meet the demand. So, folks, have a swell weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and don't forget, ABC. Always be careful. Always buy Chesterfield, the best cigarette for you to smoke.
Well, supper clubbers, we always look forward to Thursday because that means K-Star's with us. Hello, Kay.
Hello, Bill. Hey, fellas, I got the pictures we took last week, the colored ones at the beach.
Oh, how'd they come out?
Yeah, let me see them, will you?
Here. Aren't they wonderful? And Martin, this one of you and Arthur Godfrey. Oh, is really something. Get a load of that purple bathing suit on Martin Block.
Guys, I don't remember Martin wearing a purple bathing suit.
Neither do I.
Hey, come to think of it, neither do I.
Yeah, neither do I. I wasn't wearing a purple bathing suit.
You weren't? Then what was it?
That's me. I was freezing.
If you think candy's sweet, There's a guy you ought to meet. Sugar drips from his lips when he smiles. For that love life that lies within my baby's eyes. How it lies, how it lies, how it lies. He has style, he has charm, and a pair of loving arms that I'm dying to try on for size. Oh, that love life that lies within my baby's eyes. How it lies, ooh, how it lies. His name topped the list of every florist. His gals are standing 10 deep in line. With all of the trees in the forest, why should I be the only clinging vine? Oh, there's heartbreak in store when the one that you adore is a devil in an angel's disguise. For that love lies alive within my baby's eyes. How it lies, how it lies, how it lies. His gals are standing 10 deep in line. With all of the trees in the forest, why should I be the only clinging vine? Oh, there's heartbreak in store when the one that you adore is a devil in an angel's disguise. For that love lights a light within my baby's eyes. Well, I tried and I tried and I cried and I cried, but I can't figure out the reason why. But I do know that you have lied.
Hey, I hope you don't think all men are like the kind you were singing about.
Oh, don't you know, Bill, all men are alike. Girl never knows where she stands. The guy loves the gal, why didn't he tell her so?
I don't know. Maybe it's because he's shy.
Well, if he doesn't tell her, he'll be shy a gal. Brother, if I was in love with a fellow, I'd tell him.
If I was in love with a gal, I'd tell her.
You would?
Uh-huh.
What would you say?
I'd say, honey, do I get a funny feeling? Ooh, if you knew.
Do I really hit the ceiling? Ooh, if you knew.
Each time we kiss goodnight, you'd think I don't care.
I'd say it was your fault.
Why can't you understand that I get a kick out of holding your hand?
Well, do you know how much I love you?
No.
Ooh, if you knew. Ooh, if you only knew.
Well, this much I do know. You've got what it takes
I have.
to make a fool out of me.
Mm-hmm. But if I ever told you what a fool I would be.
Do you want to keep me guessing?
Well, maybe I do. Ooh, if you only knew. Say, Bill, would you say I was fascinating?
Ooh, if you knew. Do you think I'm worth cultivating, Kate?
Ooh, if you knew. I'll bet you haven't got a dime to your name. Am I right?
That's right.
I thought so.
I spent it all on women and wine, a dime at a time.
Well, am I still the one and only?
Ooh, if you knew.
That's what I mean. Ooh, if I only knew. Now, this may tax your mind, but try to remember. Do you remember the night that we stood and kissed in the rain?
Huh, do I?
You do?
I nearly caught pneumonia.
You didn't, and you didn't complain either. Do you remember that?
Oh. And if I should pop the question...
The $64 one?
That's right. What would you do?
Ooh, if I only knew.
My pretty baby.
Oh, wow. If we only knew.
Say, Kay, did you hear the Supper Club broadcast last night when we presented our Hollywood Star of the Week?
Why, no, Martin, I had a dinner engagement last night.
Oh. Well, how good are you at recognizing voices?
Well, if it's a well-known voice, I guess I could hold my own one.
All right. You take a listen to our Hollywood Star of the Week and see if you can tell me who it is.
Okay.
I always wondered why so many of my Hollywood friends smoke Chesterfields until I smoked them myself. Then I knew. Chesterfields are much milder, and they leave a clean, fresh taste in your mouth. And now Chesterfield is my cigarette, too.
Let me see. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Time's up, Kay. I'm afraid you wouldn't have won those $500 bonds last night. Have a Cesar Romero, now starring in the 20th Century Fox Technicolor musical, The Beautiful Blonde from Bashful Boone.
Of course. In fact, Martin, his name was on the tip of my tongue. Like Chesterfield. And that's my cigarette. Because, Martin, it's like when you say they're always milder, better tasting, and cooler smoking. And I can tell you from personal experience that they can leave a fresh, clean taste in your mouth.
And you are so right,
Yes,
Kay.
sir.
Friends, any way you look at it, the best cigarette for you to smoke is Chesterfield.
I'll keep the love light burning in my heart so that you can find your way to me. For you, there's such a yearning in my heart. Darling, it will burn eternally. The flame will grow into a fire as bright as any star above. So let the glow of my desire light your way to my love. I'll keep the love light burning in my heart so that you can find your way to me. I'll keep the love light burning in my heart so that you can find your way to me. Well, Supper Clubbers, that's our show for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow with Mitchell Ayers, the Supper Club Orchestra, Martin Block, and the Fontaine Sisters.
And I'll be listening, Bill. Good night.
Good night, Kay. See you Tuesday. This is Bill Lawrence saying I'll see you all tomorrow night. In the meantime, I want you to smoke my cigarette. That's right. Always buy Chesterfield.
Hello there. This is Basil Rathbone. If you smoke a long cigarette, smoke the best of long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima. Enjoy the different, better flavor that comes from the Fatima Turkish blend. Yes, the Fatima Turkish blend gives you a different, much better flavor. I say smoke the best of long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima.
United States Steel Corporation, the world's greatest maker of steel, identified by the familiar USS trademark, invites you to listen to the Theater Guild on-the-air production of Boy Meets Girl by Bella and Samuel Spiewak, starring Gene Kelly as Bob Law and featuring Frank Lovejoy as Tom Benson and Ruth Gilbert as Susie Seabrook. And now, here is Lawrence Langner, co-director with Teresa Halburn of the Theater Guild, one of America's foremost theatrical producers, to introduce the play. Mr. Langner.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The Theater Guild on the air, having just returned from Hollywood, it seems appropriate that our first play back in New York should be about Hollywood. Boy Meets Girl is generally considered the funniest of all the comedies which have been written on this subject. The plot of our play is one of the oldest in the world. It began when Adam met Eve. It continued when Romeo met Juliet, when Prince Charming met Cinderella, and when Gable met Garson. Tonight, the theater and screen star Gene Kelly, who made his first acting appearance with the Theater Guild, is playing a Hollywood author. Frank Lovejoy plays his partner in crime, while the girl who meets the boy is Ruth Gilbert.
And now, the 500,000 stockholders and employees of United States Steel invite you to listen to the Theater Guild on-the-air production of Sam and Bella Spiewak's rollicking farce, Boy Meets Girl, starring Gene Kelly.
Well, here I am back in Vermont again after 6 years in Hollywood writing for the movies. It's a great feeling not to be doing that tripe. To be able to sit down and write anything that comes into my head without having to please the producer, the executive producer, the sound man, the cutter, my secretary, and the washroom attendant. You know what happened to me, don't you? Well, 6 years ago, I wrote a couple of short stories. They were pretty good, and somebody out at the rear guard studio read one of them. Just to prove to himself he could read, I suppose. And they signed me to a contract. I went out for 3 months. I stayed 6 years. So I know Hollywood. When I got out there, they teamed me up with a veteran movie writer named Benson. We became great friends because Benson and I both like practical jokes. Like the one we pulled on Mr. Kalbfleisch at Rear Guard, for example.
Now, listen, Benson, and you, Law. I've been producing moving pictures for 30 years. Yes, Benson.
31, Mr. Kalbfleisch. We looked you up in Who's Who. You're the man that turned down Mary Pickford.
And Charlie Chaplin.
And never in my 30 years' experience
31.
did I ever have anything like this happen to me. What kind of monkey business, what kind of loyalty is it when two writers on this lot take out our biggest female star, the biggest moneymaker in the studio, and get her drunk? In public.
She got us drunk.
And then, not satisfied with your dirty work, you sell her a bill of goods. The picture she's making is a turkey, and she ought to quit the movie business, try to get a job as an extra with a Broadway show. I ask you, is that loyalty?
But, boss, it is a turkey.
And we ought to know. We wrote it.
That picture is colossal. And Marianne Laverne is not going to New York. She's going to stay right here. But you're not. You're fired.
From Rear Guard, Benson and I went to Artistic and then to Mutual. We finally landed at Royal, and what happened to us there shouldn't happen to a dog. It all started one day in CF's office, Mr. CF Friday to you. He was our producer. Anyway, Benson and I were supposed to be working on a story for an overage cowboy named Larry Toms. We were late with the script, and this actor, came in with his agent, one Rossetti, to find out what was holding things up.
Now, listen, fellas, you're writing a story for me. Now, what I want to know is, what's it about? I'm asking you, Benson.
Larry, you want to know what this story is about? I'll give it to you in one word. Love.
Love is the sweetest thing.
Now, come on, fellas, this ain't fair. This is the last feature in my contract. If I get a poor story, well, I'm out in the cold.
I can just see you freezing to death with $1 million annuity.
Now, gentlemen, do not let us get personal.
That was his agent, Benson. Do we have to listen to agents?
Not this one, not the louse that double-crossed us on our contract.
Now, look here, fellas. When they told me Larry was getting the star team of writers on the lot, I was all for it. But you two fellas have done nothing but clown around, and the shooting day's only 2 weeks off. Larry's got to play this picture.
Why?
Oh, fellas, please. Now, just explain the story to me again. I couldn't follow it.
You couldn't follow it. Listen, actor, I've been writing stories for 11 years. Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl.
Or sometimes we make use of a very ingenious twist. Girl meets boy. Girl loses boy. Girl gets boy. Love will find a way. Benson, I'm getting hungry.
All I gotta say is it's a sorry state of affairs when an actor insists on following a story.
Yeah, one more crack like that and I'm going back to Vermont. Gee, I bet there's snow there now. Real snow.
Good morning.
Oh, look who's here. The boss's secretary. Come here, Miss Cruz, and sit in my lap. I want to dictate.
Miss Cruz, what's keeping Mr. Friday? Now, this is a story conference. If he's a producer, he ought to be here.
CF was upstairs with BK. He's on his way down.
Come here, beautiful. Right over here in Papa's lap. Come on. Give me a plate. Oh, honey, girl, you know.
Good morning.
Hi, CF. All right.
Now, boys, please, no antics. We got a heavy day ahead of us. Miss Cruz, sit outside that door and don't let anybody in unless it's a matter of life and death.
Very well, Mr. Friday.
Where the devil's that phone? Hello? Operator? This is C.F. Friday. I don't want to be disturbed by anybody. You understand? And order some lunch. A plate of raw carrots and a bottle of certified raw milk. See that it's raw. Bring some for everybody. Now,
just a moment, CF. Operator, Mr. Benson and Mr. Law want 2 cups of chicken broth, some pork tenderloin, cabbage, lemon meringue pie, and some bicarbonate soda. Now, what were you saying, CF?
Boys, I have just seen the front office. We are facing a crisis. There may be a reorganization. Again? And you know my position. I'm the only college-bred man in the studio. They resent me.
The big snob.
Just because I've always tried to do something fine, something dignified, something worthwhile, I'm being hammered on all sides. Boys, if my next picture fails, I'm out. And you're out, Larry. And it won't do you boys any good either. Of course, you could always write Broadway plays.
I don't see why not. We never wrote any.
I got an idea for a play I want to discuss with you sometime. You'll be wild about it. Catherine Cornell would be marvelous for the girl. She dies in the first act.
Mr. Friday.
I told you, Miss Cruz, I don't want to see anybody unless it's a matter of life and death.
Your manicurist is here.
Oh, send her in. Hello, Peggy. Well, I mean, Miss Harper.
Good morning, CF. I mean, Mr. Friday.
You can work on me while I'm telling these right.
What were you telling us, CF?
Boys, we need a big picture. Something fine, with sweep, with scope, stark, honest, gripping, adult, but with plenty of laughs and a little hokum.
Excuse me, Mr. Friday. The casting department wants to know how many midgets you need.
Midgets? I don't need any midgets.
Casting said you ordered midgets and they got them.
They're crazy. Send them away.
Yes, Mr. Friday.
Now, what was I saying? You were just saying that the little job we did for Larry is probably one of the greatest scripts ever written. Now, just
and
a
do you
minute,
know why,
boys.
CF? Because it's the same story this jerk, our good friend Larry Toms here, has been doing for years.
Boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl.
The great American fairy tale. Sends the audience back to their slums in a happy frame of mind.
Well, of course, if you put it that way. But, boys, it's a little hackneyed, isn't it?
Hackneyed?
You mean classic.
Let's ask your manicurist. What's her name?
Peggy. I mean, Miss Harper.
Oh, thank you. Now, Peggy, you're the typical American audience. Would you like to see Larry Toms in a different story?
I got a toothache.
But, Peggy, you go to pictures, don't you?
Nah.
But you've seen Larry's pictures and enjoyed them as millions of others have?
Nah.
Why, one man sent him a rope all the way from Manila with instructions.
Now, wait a minute, you.
Boys, this isn't getting us anywhere.
Just one moment, CF. I'll take over the witness. Young lady, do you mean to sit there and testify that you haven't seen one Larry Toms picture?
I saw one.
Aha.
It was called Night in Death Valley.
So this isn't getting us anywhere, huh, CF? Young lady, how would you like to see Night in Death Valley again with a new title?
It would turn my stomach. The other hand, Mr. Friday.
Extra from wardrobe, Mr. Friday. Go on in, you.
Thank you. Mr. Friday?
What do you want?
A wardrobe sent me. Do you approve the uniform I'm wearing?
Uniform for what?
Why, the new picture you're producing. Young England.
You see, Larry, 3 pictures in production, all going on at the same time. I'm standing on my head. And then they wonder what's wrong with the industry. You, stand over there. I don't like that hat.
The hat is authentic, sir.
I still don't like it. Hello? Yeah? What midgets? I didn't send out any call for midgets. Get rid of them. Hello? You, operator. Get me wardrobe. Wardrobe, this is CF. I don't like the hat. What hat? The Young England hat. That's what hat. I don't care if it is authentic. Change it.
Well, if I may say something,
Go back
sir.
to wardrobe. Tell him I don't like the hat.
But it's very peculiar that you should take umbrage at the hat, Mr. Friday. It so happens to be the only correct item in the entire costume.
It does, huh? What's your salary?
As I understand it, I'm to receive $7 a day.
And you're telling a $50,000 a year man how to run his picture? What's your name?
Rodney Bevan.
Rodney Bevan, huh? Hello, operator? Give me casting. Hello, casting? This is CF. Extra here by the name of Rodney Bevan doesn't like his uniform. Fire him.
Oh, but Mr. Friday, I merely suggested...
Mr. Green and Mr. Slater outside.
I don't want to hear any music.
Well...
CF, we got it.
You're going to listen.
If you don't like it, Von Bernberg's nuts about it. We wrote it for Young England, but it's flexible.
Boys, I am in no mood to hear you extra. Get out. You're fired.
Very well, sir. But I'll prove you're wrong about the hat, sir. It is authentic.
Listen to this, CF. Okay, Otto, shoot it to him.
You promised love undying and begged me to believe. Then you left and left me crying with a pain in my heart and
Listen. My name's Larry Toms, remember? I'm a star. I work for Biograph. I've worked for Artistic. I've worked for Mutual. But a screwier outfit than this I never did see. You, Rossetti, you're my agent. Now do something about this.
CF, we came here for a conference. What about Larry's story?
Listen, boss, get the middle section. Sing it, Otto.
Yes, I've been kissed, but like Oliver Twist, I'm still trying for...
Stop it! I don't want to hear any music. Get out!
Okay, CF, we'll come back after lunch. Come on, Otto.
Now listen, everybody. We've had enough of this. We are now going into a story conference right here in this room, and nobody budges until we come up with a story for Larry.
But CF...
Shut up, Vincent. Not a word. The first one who opens his mouth...
Here's Susie with the lunch.
Tell her to take it away.
Tell her to bring it right in. Come on in, Susie.
Good morning, everybody.
Grub, Susie, I love you.
What's the matter, Susie? You look funny.
Here, Susie, let me help you with that tray.
Oh, please, Mr. Law, be careful. Oh, please, Mr. Benson.
Hey, put it right down.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Benson. That's all right, Mr. Law. It's not very heavy.
For the love of mine, she fainted.
The little lady seems to be upset.
Upset? Maybe dropped dead in my office.
Hello, operator. Operator, get the doctor over here right away. It's an emergency.
Give me some water, somebody. In my office. Who is this girl, anyway?
Come on, Susie. Come on, baby. Come on. Give me a hand, Bob. We'll put her on the car.
Say, she's not bad to look at. Kind of cute. Funny, I never noticed that before.
Oh, look, she's coming out of it.
Oh, Mr. Law, Mr. Benson, I'm sorry. Did I forget anything? The napkins, maybe.
Never mind that, Susie. Here, now, you stay where you are.
Thanks, Mr. Law.
Hey, drink this.
Thanks, Mr. Benson.
What's wrong with you, young woman? Is this a plot? Did someone from another studio pay you to come in here and drop dead on my brand new rug?
Never mind this hooligan, Susie. The doctor will be right over.
How did you call for a doctor? You didn't have to.
Tell me, young woman, do you get these spasms very often?
CF, I resent your tone to this unfortunate young woman.
Shut up. This is my office. This is my rug. And this was supposed to be my lunch. I repeat, young woman, what's wrong with you?
Well, there's nothing wrong. It's only natural.
Only natural for you to come into my office and collapse on the floor?
CF, I don't like your tone.
Oh, no, sir. It's only natural for you not to feel so good when you're going to have a baby.
A baby?
Susie's going to have a baby? A baby? Where's that phone? Hello, operator? Tell that doctor not to come. I won't have my office converted into a maternity ward. Young woman, I don't think very much of your husband letting you work at a time like this.
Oh, but I haven't got a husband.
Huh? What's that?
And now you all better eat your lunch before it gets cold. Are you sure you've all got napkins?
The new generation. What courage. What honesty. I haven't got a husband, she says. It's only natural, she says. I'm going to have a baby, she says. Oh, Susie, you're magnificent.
I'm quitting at the end of the week, so I thought I'd tell everybody why. I wouldn't want them to think I was discontented.
Susie, can we be godfathers, Bob and I?
Oh, why, Mr. Benson, Mr. Law. Oh, do you really mean it?
Now, boys, enough of this.
Do we mean it? We haven't got a baby, and we've been collaborating for years.
I think that would be wonderful for Happy to have writers for Godfather.
Happy? Who's he?
Oh, I'm going to call him Happy, even if he's a girl, because I want him to be happy.
What a magnificent thought. Hello, operator. Get me the Pavilion Hospital and make it happy. Snappy.
Mr. Law, what are you doing? I can't afford to...
Oh, yes, you can, Susie. We're going to give you the finest... Hello, Dr. Marks.
Now, listen, boys, enough of this tomfoolery.
Hello, Willie. This is Law of Law and Benson.
Benson and Law.
Listen, Willie, reserve the best suite in the house for us. A little friend of ours is going to have a baby, and we want the most colossal accouchement you've got in stock.
Day and night nurse.
What? Who's going to pay? Why, the studio, of course.
We'll do no such thing. What kind of a gag is this?
Listen, CF, Susie is one of our oldest friends. She's entitled to the best there is, and we're going to see that she gets it.
Yeah, but you can't do this.
Mr. Friday, do you want to hear...
No, get out of here, Miss Prue.
But it's the musicians. Don't you want to hear the trumpet calls for Young England?
No, throw them out.
Once you're okay.
Throw them out.
Yes, oh, my goodness, it's too late.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Why does everything happen to me? First we haven't got a story, then I got to listen to songs, then a waitress drops dead on my carpet, and now trumpets! Get out, all of you! I want rest. Go to lunch. Come back in 1 hour. And you, waitress, you go to the hospital.
Over Over the lunch table, Benson and I had come up with a brand new idea for Larry Tom's next picture. It was Susie's having a baby that gave it to us. As soon as we got back to CF's office, we started selling it to them.
I don't like it.
Now, look, CF, and you too, Larry.
I'm looking for that.
I tell you I don't
Shut
like
up, Larry. CF, I tell you, it's the greatest, most colossal...
It'll wring their hearts, CF. It'll tear them in two. You won't be able to hear Larry talk on account of the noses blowing.
Oh, that's fine. That'll be a big help to my career.
Now, let me get this straight. You are suggesting we team Larry up with a baby?
Look, CF, I'll give it to you again. Larry finds a baby in the Rockies.
Larry Toms and a baby. Jerusalem, it'll kill him. Hey, where's that waitress? Why didn't she collect these dishes? What was that? Say that again, Bob.
Look, there's a girl with a no-good gambler out of Las Vegas. She has a baby. Gambler is killed. Girl leaves baby on the ranger's doorstep. Larry is the ranger.
I can just see it now, tugging at every mother's heart. A love story between Larry and the baby.
The two outcasts, you get it? He takes the kid in, nurses him out of a can of tomato juice.
And then he meets the mother.
She wants her baby back.
She's been through the fires of hate.
The man she loved let her down.
She hates men, all men.
There she sits, bitter, brooding, cynical, but underneath, her mother's heart. Oh, I can see it all out there in the Rockies.
No. Let's junk the Rockies. Back to the Foreign Legion.
Right, Benson. Casablanca. Larry's joined up to forget. He's out in the march. And he finds the baby.
He's going off to fight the Rips.
She doesn't know if he's coming back.
She's waiting.
Why doesn't she get rid of these dishes?
We cut to the Rips.
We cut back.
And we're right in the battle. The great battle of Larry gets wounded.
His father's the colonel.
Talk about Kipling.
Talk about scope sweep. What a setup.
But you can't act with a baby. They steal everything.
Shut up, Larry. The baby brings them together, splits them, brings them together.
Boy meets girl.
Boy loses girl.
Boy gets girl.
Boys, I think you got something. Let's go up and try it on the boss while it's hot.
In a moment, we will continue with the second act of Boy Meets Girl, produced by the Theater Guild on the Air and sponsored by the United States Steel Corporation. And here, speaking for United States Steel, is George Hicks.
Good evening. Next Thursday is Memorial Day, and I'm sure all of you are looking forward to your holiday with real pleasure, especially if you're fortunate enough to get away for a glorious weekend. And if you're planning a trip in your car, I'd like to make two suggestions. First, have your garage or service station go over your car thoroughly before you start on your trip. Be especially sure to check your tires, your brakes, and your cooling system. That is, your radiator, water pump, and fan belt. Second, tie a little piece of string to the very top of your steering wheel to remind yourself that you must drive even more carefully than you usually do when you get out in that heavy holiday traffic. Remember, too, that highway and automotive engineers have done a great deal to safeguard you and your loved ones. Main highways are wide, smooth, and well marked. Modern cars and buses are miracles of protection, thanks to the work of the automobile industry and its many suppliers. United States Steel, for example, has worked with the automotive engineers for years in the development of such vital safety factors as all-steel bodies and fenders. U.S. Steel has also worked with highway engineers on road building and road maintenance equipment, concrete highways reinforced with steel, white concrete reflecting curbs, steel guardrails, steel light poles, steel safety signs, and steel bridges. Yes, United States Steel is just as proud of the part it has played in reducing accidents on the road as it is in the amazing on-the-job safety record of its own family of over 200,000 workers. And speaking for the United States Steel Corporation, I wish all of you a grand holiday. Have fun, but take it easy. Let those professionals on the Indianapolis racetrack do all the speeding for the Memorial Weekend.
We pause now for station identification.
Your station is KECA Los Angeles.
You are listening to the Theater Guild on the Air, sponsored by the industrial family that serves the nation, United States Steel. Tonight's play, Sam and Bella Spiewak's hilarious farce, Boy Meets Girl, stars Gene Kelly as Robert Law and features Frank Lovejoy as Tom Benson and Ruth Gilbert as Susie Seabrook. Now the curtain rises on the second act.
While we were upstairs selling the story idea to BK, the big boss, Susie came in to collect the dishes. Maybe it was because the tray was heavy, or maybe it was because she was, well, anyhow, she got dizzy again and decided to sit down. A couple of minutes later, an actor came in. He was the same one CF had fired before lunch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't startle you. Where's Mr. Friday?
Oh, they all went upstairs to BK's office, and they didn't even touch their lunch.
Lunch? Did you say lunch?
Uh-huh.
Oh, would you mind if I waited here? It's rather urgent.
I know, of course not. What kind of a uniform is that you're wearing?
I'm supposed to be a Buckingham Palace guard, but...
Oh,
good Lord, what am I doing?
You're eating Mr. Friday's crackers.
No, I'm awfully sorry. I don't understand.
You must be
how...
very hungry.
Oh, no, not a bit. Not at all.
Look, why don't you have something? They'll never eat it. You'll only be doing me a favor. I won't have so much to carry back.
Oh, you're not really a waitress.
Oh, sure I am. Try the chicken soup. We make it special for BK with 9 chickens.
Well, dash it all, I might as well.
You're English, aren't you?
Yes, of course.
I thought so. So is Ronald Coleman. And Herbert Marshall.
I say you do go to the movies, don't you?
I like the way the English talk. It's very soothing. Of course, that's only my idea. I'm very ignorant.
Oh, I think you're very intelligent.
Oh, I am. Very intelligent. But I don't know anything.
How extraordinary.
Well, you see, I've never been to high school. Oh, but someday I'll go. That's my secret ambition. Try the pork tenderloin.
Oh, I say, won't you join me?
Oh, no, thank you. Happy doesn't like pork. He likes milk.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
Oh, nobody does. Have some mustard.
Thank you. You know, I was close to wiring home for funds today, but I didn't.
You mean you need money and you can get it, and you won't wire for it?
Why, no, a man has pride, you know. You see, my family don't want me to be an actor.
Why?
Well, they don't think I can act.
Can you?
No.
Well, then why don't you give it up?
Well, I told you, pride. That's why I simply must see Mr. Friday. I've got to prove to him that I was right about this uniform.
Have some pie.
Thank you. You know, you are the most extraordinary young lady.
Oh, do you really think so?
Oh, yes, I do. I think you're quite extraordinary.
You want to know something? I think you're quite extraordinary, too.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, I do. Really, I do.
Well, what's this? Good gad, I leave this house for 1 hour, and... Hey, you extra, you've been drinking my milk.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Friday. I told him he could have it.
You told him?
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, sir. I owe you an apology. And money, of course. Will you accept my IOU?
Get out.
Yes, sir. Oh, young lady, I still
Get
don't
out.
know your name. But someday, under more auspicious circumstances, perhaps we shall meet again. Until then, au revoir.
Oh, isn't he wonderful?
You, Susie.
Huh?
Why aren't you in the hospital?
Oh.
And get those dishes out of here.
Oh, yes, sir. That's what I'm doing.
CF, I want to tell you this. I won't play it.
Listen, Larry, it's a great idea.
I don't care, a baby. They're all picture stealers. Everybody keeps looking at the cute little idiot, and nobody looks at me. No, sir, I won't do it.
BK is the head of this studio. If he likes it, you will play it.
Greetings, CF.
We sold it to BK.
Yep, he went for the whole story, lock, stock, and baby. Says it's the best mother love story he's heard in years.
Excuse me.
And you, Susie, you stay where you are.
Now put that tray down. Now, Susie, attention.
Your undivided attention.
Oh, please, I've got to get back to the commissary with the dirty dishes.
Forget the dirty dishes, Susie. Forget everything. From now on...
Just a minute. I demand to be heard. Did you or did you not sell this story to BK?
Yes.
Yes, you did, or yes, you didn't. Yes, what?
Yes, jerk.
That's all I wanted to know. We'll see if 2 lousy writers can dictate to a star of my magnitude. I'm going up to see BK myself, and then, by gum, I'll see my agent.
Poor Mr. Toms. He was angry.
Never mind him. Now listen, Susie, and listen carefully.
Let me tell her, Benson. Susie, nature meant you for a sucker. You were designed to get the short end of the stick, the girl who gets slapped. You can't help it. You were born that way.
But we're changing all that.
That's right. Now, Susie, in real life, you'd have your baby in the county hospital. You'd work for him. You'd slave for him. And when your grateful son grew up, he'd squirt tobacco juice in your eye and join the Navy.
There you go with your lousy Vermont realism. Never mind him, Susie. Just sign this paper right here, where my finger is.
Oh, here?
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. What is it? What did I sign?
Just the power of attorney authorizing us to deal for you in all matters with this studio.
Wait a minute.
You get every nickel that's coming to you, Susie. Not even an agent's fee comes out.
What power of attorney? What are you boys up to?
Get this, CF, and you too, Susie. We just sold a story about a baby.
A newborn baby.
We're going to watch that baby. The first hair, the first tooth, the first smile.
First time in the history of pictures, that baby's going to grow up before your eyes.
Open up like a flower.
The minute he's born, we set the cameras on him. We stay with him.
That baby's going to gurgle and google and drool his way to stardom.
But, Mr. Law...
And that baby, Susie, is happy.
Oh.
Upstairs in BK's office, we just put your unborn child into pictures. In due time, Happy was born and turned out to be a bouncing boy. The first picture he appeared in with Larry Toms was called Wandering Hearts. It was released nationwide when Happy was 7 months old. The day the first box office reports came in, we all gathered in CF's office to hold a celebration.
Read those figures again, Miss Cruz. I want to gloat.
110,000 at the music hall, 58,538 in Des Moines.
Well, I always went big in Des Moines.
Quiet, Larry. Proceed, Miss Cruz.
28,300 in Hackensack.
In Hackensack, Happy's a star.
What about me? Wandering Hearts was my picture, wasn't it? Folks came to see me. They didn't come to see Happy.
Listen, you phony cowboy, while I read Variety to the assembled multitude. Wandering Hearts, Socko in Minneapolis, despite Larry Toms.
Where? Where does it say that?
Right here.
Oh.
Boys, it's time to discuss the renewal of Happy's contract. Shall we say $300 a week for Happy, Mr. Law?
Shall we say $3,500 a week for Happy, CF?
For a crack like that, I have a good mind to have you two writers thrown out of the studio. Happy goes with us, you know.
That's
We've
right.
still got that power of attorney. Of course, I didn't mean that literally.
Hey! Look at this, what it says in Variety. The acting of this newborn baby is far more convincing in every detail than that of Larry Toms, the eminent thespian.
Thespian, that means actor.
I said that baby had ruined me. Well, he ain't going to steal no more pictures. I won't play that new scene with him, no sirree.
What scene, Larry?
In the new picture, I'm supposed to wash Happy.
That's a cute scene. I read it.
Am I the type that washes babies?
Why not?
It ain't manly.
No, you want the baby to wash you?
I'm going to see my agent about this.
Larry, please.
Thank you, CF. Thank you. Now listen. We're asking $3,500 a week for Happy. We'll consider $3,000 and settle for $2,500, but not a penny less. Incidentally, Artistic Pictures will pay $2,500 for the kid. We promised to let them know in 1 hour. No hurry, of course. Come on, Benson. So Benson and I took another walk around the lot just to kill time. We had a cup of coffee in the commissary and then pitched pennies with a bootblack outside the barber shop. While we were thus engaged in earning our salary, Rossetti, Larry Tom's agent, was out conniving. When he'd connived to his dirty little heart's content, he went back to CF's office to talk to Larry.
Listen, Larry, I've just checked with the legal department. Happy's power of attorney, the one that Benson and Law hold, expired last week, and they don't even know it.
What's that got to do with me?
Larry, it occurs to me that you ought to be more, friendly with Susie.
Happy's mother? Oh, don't be ridiculous.
In fact, you don't know it yet, but you're going to marry her.
Marry her?
Larry, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I can't get you a new contract the way things are now.
What?
That's what I said. But if you marry Susie, you're Happy's legal guardian, and we control the situation. A father and son team off the screen as well as on.
No, but I don't
Not
want to...
only will you keep your job, but there's the matter of revenge.
Revenge?
Those two hacks, Law and Benson, they've been making you jump through hoops. They hate your guts.
You mean I can get back at them for their aspersions on my artistry as an actor?
Aspersions? They said you stink. Now listen, Larry. If you marry Susie and I control Happy through a new power of attorney to replace the one that just expired, we'll be able to dictate our own terms to CF and BK.
Oh, we could, huh?
Then we've got those two smart Alecs where we want them. Why, we could even have them fired if we wanted to.
Fire them? Gee, I'd like that better than a chocolate sundae with 2 scoops.
Susie's coming down the hall. Now, you start laying the groundwork. I'll be waiting outside. And when you come out together, I'll make the pitch.
What for?
For the power of attorney, you dope, to handle Happy's new contract. Shh. Here she is.
I was looking for... Oh, hello, Larry.
Well, if it isn't Susie. How are you, Susie? Sit right down here. Susie, Larry.
Hello. Susie?
I hope I didn't interrupt anything important. I was hoping to find Mr. Benson and Mr. Law in here.
Hey, well, I just stepped out.
Oh.
Is your chair comfortable? Would you like a pillow?
Oh, it's fine. Did I tell you I'm going to high school? I'm taking algebra now. I'm the only mother in the class.
Well, I guess I'd better be running along.
I'll go with you, Rosetti.
Why, Larry, I thought you told me you had something very important to ask Susie.
Oh, did I?
You certainly did, and no time like the present, you know. Well, see you later.
Did you have something to say to me, Larry?
Well, Susie, I just wanted to ask you, where's Happy's father?
He's dead. He went down in a destroyer off Guadalcanal.
Is that true, Susie?
No, it's what the studio wants me to say, though.
Oh.
It's a long story. Oh, but I am a widow, honest and truly.
Oh, yeah. Gee, that's great. I mean, I'm awful sorry to hear it, but, Susie, I'm mighty fond of you and Happy. Mighty fond.
Oh, are you really?
Mighty fond. Susie, I don't want you to get too excited about this, but I've been a-thinking about you and Happy. Thinking a lot.
Have you, Larry?
Ever since the day you come into this office and had a spasm on that there floor, I said to myself, Larry, there's your leading lady for life. Susie, I'm asking for your hand in marriage.
Hiya, Susie. How's the little mother? Where's CF, Larry? Is he going to sign Happy's new contract, or isn't he?
I have no idea. Care to go for a stroll, Susie? We could have an ice cream soda. I'll pay.
Well, I'd like to talk to Mr. Law and Mr. Benson first. You go ahead, Larry.
By the way, I got me 2 tickets to the opening of that new picture tonight, Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Oh, gee, the big opening? Oh, I'd love to go, Larry.
It's just around the corner from the studio. We can walk there. Well, adios.
You better beat it, too, Susie. We got no time for you today. We still need an opening for Happy's new picture.
Oh, do you think Mr. Friday will sign Happy's contract?
Why, of course he'll sign.
Oh.
Come on, let's go. Fade in the zoo. A long shot of Larry.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you, Mr. Law and Mr. Benson, for all you've done for Happy.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Now he's crossing the road. Bang. The dame comes tearing down 90 miles an hour.
Let's give her a little character, Benson. You know, 3 dimensions.
Sure. She's a high-handed floozy. Society girl. Why, you lousy bum, she snarls.
Boys, I've just got to ask you something.
Not now, Susie. Fade out.
Fade in.
And then I'll go.
All right, Susie. What is it?
Do you think I should marry Larry Tom?
No. A fade in.
That's it. The girl's home. A pension. Did he ask you to marry him?
Yes.
Did you spit in his face?
He's taking me to the opening of the new picture tonight. He said he's mighty fond of Happy and me.
Mighty fond.
Listen, let's get on with this. Introducing the fiancé, a pale, anemic lout.
Right. The minute the audience sees him, they yell, "Don't marry that heel."
You boys were so sweet to me that I wanted to ask your advice.
Don't marry him. Marry anyone else.
But there's no one I like. Except maybe that Englishman who was hungry that day. I liked him very much.
Personally, I would even prefer a hungry Englishman. Now beat it.
Yeah, get out. We're busy.
But
Get out.
There was something more important. It's about Happy. I've just got to talk to you.
Get out.
Oh.
Where were we, Bob?
Long shot on Larry.
No. Close up, Happy.
Good. Now a trucking shot. The kid's in his baby buggy.
Cut to a medium shot.
Stay on it.
Fade out.
Good.
Medium shot?
No, a pan shot.
Right. Then lap the czar.
That's the way.
Hello, boys. Well, don't tell me you're working. Have a cigar.
Well, if it isn't Mr. Rossetti, the agent. Fade out, Stooge. We're busy.
Same old boys. Anything for a gag. Well, I'm feeling pretty good myself. I've just set Larry to a long-term contract. Nice little setup. A joint contract with Happy.
With Happy?
You're crazy.
Ask Susie. She says she tried to talk to you, but you weren't interested. And I happen to know your power of attorney expired.
Is this on the level?
How much did you get for Happy?
300.
Why, you crooked louse, we turned down 1,500 from Artistic.
You should have taken it. Or gotten a renewal when your power of attorney expired. Anyway, what's the difference? It's all in the family now. You see, Susie's going to marry Larry Toms.
Who thought this up? You?
Sure.
Why, you scavenging, blood-sucking crook.
Now, you better be careful the way you talk to me. And you better be careful about the way you talk to Larry from now on. He's fed up with your gags and insults. You got away with a lot around here because you had Happy. Well, Larry's got him now, and he's going to have plenty to say around here, I'm warning you. He'd like to see you boys off this lot, and he's in a position to do it now. So be careful if you want to keep your jobs. So long, suckers.
Well, what do you know?
What do I know? Benson, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Now they'll fire me, and I'll have to go back to Vermont and write that novel.
Don't talk that way. What about my debts? The process servers are driving me nuts as it is. They'll have me in Alcatraz in a week.
It'll do you good. When you get out, you'll have enough material for a B picture. You'll write with authority and realism.
Will you shut up? What about the alimony to my 2 wives?
Let them go to work.
But I want to stay in pictures. I love pictures. Bob, we got to break up this thing between Susie and Larry. If we don't and I get fired, I think there must be a way. I got to hold on to my job.
I will not sully my brain with schemes involving a tawdry $1,500 a week. After all, what is money?
Oh, it's not the money I'm thinking about. It's the gag.
Huh?
If we could only put one over on Larry. That's it. A hoax. A practical joke. The biggest belly laugh this town has ever...
What do you mean?
But don't you see? If we could turn the tables on that phony cowboy, it'd be the climax of our careers.
The climax, huh? The gag to top all gags.
That's it. Boy, oh boy, I only wish I could work this out by myself. I wish I didn't have to share the glory.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I think... Benson, I've got it.
I know you'd come through, Bob.
Benson, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to produce Happy's father on the air tonight.
At the opening? When I interview the celebrities? That's great. That's marvelous.
Then we'll get rid of him. Hide him out someplace.
Where?
Where? Who cares where? I'll fix it up with publicity to get Susie interviewed in the lobby. Then when she's on the air, we'll spring it. Oh, the big problem is, where do we get the father?
Oh, I beg your pardon. I was looking for Mr. Friday.
Wait a minute. Come in, young man. Come in. What is your name?
Rodney Bevan.
Your face looks familiar. Are you an actor?
Oh, well, yes. I saw you two gentlemen in here one day. The day I was wearing a guard's uniform for Young England.
You don't say. Benson, what do you think? Do you think you'll do for that part we were discussing?
Oh, that part. Why, Yes. He's got an English accent.
Well, that adds class, distinction. Nothing's too good for Susie.
Do you really think I'll do?
Yes, I do. Benson, get at the typewriter. Take these lines.
Oh, there are lines. And then the fee will be $25, I assume.
$100 for you.
We're going to shoot this just around the corner in the lobby of Grauman's Chinese Theater at the opening tonight. You know, when the crowds pour in to watch the celebrities. Now, there'll be a girl at the microphone. Her name is Susie.
You come running up to her. You're dressed in the uniform of the United States Marines.
Right. You run up to her and you say, are you ready, Benson?
Shoot.
You say, Susie, why did you leave me? Say it.
Susie, why did you leave me?
With feeling.
Susie, why did you leave me?
I'm Happy's father.
I'm Happy's father.
Louder.
I'm Happy's father.
I did not go down in that destroyer off Guadalcanal as you told the newspapers.
I did not go down in that destroyer off Guadalcanal as you told the newspapers.
Good. Now get this, Rodney, with feeling. Susie, where is our child?
Susie, where is our child?
That'll fix it. Brother, that'll fix it good. In a moment, we will continue with the third act of Boy Meets Girl, produced by the Theater Guild on the Air and sponsored by the United States Steel Corporation. Here again, speaking for United States Steel, is George Hicks.
During the past week, groups all over the country have celebrated National Foreign Trade Week. The celebrations were intended to make us all more conscious of the importance of foreign trade, of world trade. Today, more than ever before, the welfare of every nation is firmly linked to that of all others. And one of the things which contributes most to the welfare of all is a healthy flow of international trade. Mutually satisfactory trade relationships between all countries foster world peace by contributing to the national and international prosperity of all peoples and by helping to establish a better understanding of different national cultures, interests, and necessities. International trade has been and will continue to be a powerful factor in international peace. The free exchange of goods, services, and ideas among all nations is thus a vitally important factor in achieving the era of peace and prosperity so fervently desired by all of us. One member of the United States Steel family has long been a leader in international trade. For over 40 years, the United States Steel Export Company has been providing steel and products of steel to every nation on earth. Wherever men have needed steel, the export company has been ready to supply it. There are bridges in China, warehouses in Africa, and oil derricks in South America, all serving useful purposes, all contributing to the prosperity of their communities and all built of lasting steel provided by the United States Steel Export Company. Serving all peoples of all nations, providing steel for every purpose, and helping them to use those products for better living is the job of this member of the industrial family that serves our nation, United States Steel.
And now the curtain rises on the third act of Sam and Bella Spiewak's famous comedy success, Boy Meets Girl, produced by the Theater Guild on the Air and sponsored by the United States Steel Corporation. Starring Gene Kelly as Robert Law and featuring Frank Lovejoy as Tom Benson and Ruth Gilbert as Susie Seabrook.
That night, Rodney and I went to the opening at Grauman's Chinese Theater. The crowd of celebrities in the lobby was terrific. Rodney and I remained hidden in a dark corner. I didn't let him see anything of what was going on so that he couldn't get suspicious. Meanwhile, Mr. C.F. Friday was in his office in the studio talking to my collaborator, Benson. They were cutting our new picture, Young England. Benson had one ear cocked to the radio.
Benson, turn to page 94 and read that scene. Okay, CF, I'm reading it. Now what?
Now be sure to stand by, folks. The big event is about to go on the air. The premiere of Cecil X. D. Christopher's...
Benson, I told you to turn the radio off.
Wait a minute,
CF. I want to hear it.
And now, folks, I'm told that none other than Larry Toms is with us tonight. There he is. And who is that I see hanging on his manly arm? Why, it's none other than Mrs. Susan Saybrook, mother of America's favorite child star, Happy. Oh, Mrs. Saybrook, would you mind saying a few words over our microphone?
Will you turn that thing off? No, I want to hear our little Susie.
Good evening, everybody. Happy sends you all his love. He would love to meet you one by one and thank you from the bottom of his little heart.
Not bad.
Thank
Not bad at all.
you, Mrs. Saybrook. And now, folks, meet Larry Toms, the lovable cowboy star. Larry, a little bird has whispered to me that you and Mrs. Saybrook are contemplating marriage. Is that true?
Well, to tell you the truth, that is, no shucks. Well, I kind of missed a little fella after the day's work was done. And,
yes?
So I guess pretty soon he'll be Happy's father off the screen as well as all.
Stop! I am Happy's father. I did not go down in that destroyer of Guadalcanal.
Why, it's you, Rodney.
I've been fighting with the United States Marines. Oh, Susie, I've searched for you in the four corners of the earth.
Young man, get away from here. Police! Police!
Where is our child?
Folks, that voice you heard was a young man, a United States Marine. He threw his arms around Happy's mother and he kissed her. She recognized him. There's some confusion. The crowd is getting out of control. They're pushing. They're shoving. Help! Help!
Good God. What do you make of it, Benson? CF, it's the strangest thing I ever heard. Miss Cruz! Miss Cruz!
Yes, Mr. Friday.
Get hold of Susie Seabrook immediately. If the newspapers call up, tell them I have nothing to say. Not a word. Except that it's a lie. A dirty lie.
Yes, Mr. Friday.
Benson, do you think that young man was genuine? Sounded like it to me. Hello? Yes?
Well, Mr. Friday's not here. What's that? You think it sounds like his voice?
You're nuts! You're nuts! Anyway, I've got anything to say to the press.
I just came from Grauman's Chinese Theater, and I want to tell you...
Well, if it isn't Larry and his 10% friend Rossetti. Shut up, Benson. Now, Larry, calm down.
I'll calm down.
Where's Susie Seabrook? What did you do with her?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Look here, Larry, I want to know what Susie said. Did she know the young man? What did she say?
Now, you listen to me what I got to say. You too, Rossetti. Now, get this. I'm not going to marry Susie.
That's great, Larry. Congratulations. Shut up, Benson. But why, Larry? Why?
Why? Because she lied to me, that's why. She told me she was a widow, and now this guy appears and says he's Happy's father, and that he was with the Marines on Guadalcanal all this time.
But, Larry, suppose this fellow's lying.
Lying? How could he be? Didn't he say he was in the Marines? A Marine couldn't lie. Why, they're the greatest, the noblest. Are you inferring that the United States Marines are cowards?
Yeah, I know, Larry.
Through, do you hear? Through. There we were on the air with all my fans listening in. Oh, it was awful. I'm serving notice on you now, all of you. I ain't marrying Susie. I ain't getting the United States Marine Corps down on me. And what's more, I ain't doing no more pictures with an unbaptized baby. If it's the last thing I do, I'm breaking my contract.
That you, Bob?
Yeah, it's me, Benson. What are you doing out here in front of CF's office at this hour of the night? You were supposed to meet me inside.
Where were you? What held you up?
Never mind. How did it come over the air?
Terrific. I just wanted to ask you, Bob, what did you do with the Englishman, Rodney?
Why, I got him locked up, of course.
Where?
Where I just came from, in the ladies' room, in the commissary.
Here in the studio?
Well, where else could I put him?
You dope, every cop in L.A. is looking for him.
Yeah?
They swore in 800 special deputies, all looking for the Marine who said he was Happy's papa. Why didn't you drop him somewhere else?
I leave him free to roam and blab.
If they catch him, we're sunk. We'll be on the blacklist for life.
Hooray! Then I can go back to Vermont.
Will you shut up with that Vermont?
You know, I had a lot of trouble with Rodney. In his own peculiar English fashion, he's not entirely nitwitted. I had to shove him at the mic, and he's been demanding explanations ever since.
Get that guy out of the studio. Put him on a plane to Mexico. Strangle him. I don't care what you do. Who's that?
Why, it's Susie.
Oh, Mr. Law, I tried to reach you at your hotel. Something terrible. I tried to get you to Mr.
Now,
Benson.
Susie, we know. It's all
Oh,
right.
I was so ashamed. I didn't even see the picture.
There you are, Law, and you, Benson. I've been looking for you.
Why, hello, CF. What are you doing out at this time?
Just one moment. Young man, step forward.
Why, it's Rodney again. Oh, Rodney, I'm disappointed in you. You told a lie.
But-
Yes, you did. You're not Happy's father.
Susie, I can explain.
One moment, please. Now then, Mr. Law, Mr. Benson, I ask you, did you ever see this young man before? Never saw him before in my life.
He looks like a young man my sister was engaged to in Brattleboro, but no, he's not the one. That fellow wore a toupee.
Very funny, very funny. Now I ask you, young man, what did you say your name was?
Rodney Bevan.
I ask you, Mr. Bevan, did you ever see them before?
I most certainly did. They paid me $100 to say those lines into the microphone at the opening tonight. Then this one here...
His name is Law.
...locked me in the ladies' room in the commissary. Why, if it hadn't been for the cleaning woman, I'd be there yet.
It's a lie.
A false canard spread by our enemies.
Rodney, why did you do it? You know you're not Happy's father.
Of course not.
Boys, this is the last prank you'll ever play. You better go to school and study some other profession. You'll never write another movie in Hollywood. You're through.
Come in. Why, Mr. Benson. Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Is Mr. Law with you?
Mr. Law and I are not speaking.
Why not?
Because I'm out of a job and I can't get one without him. And he, it seems, is going back to Vermont.
Oh.
Oh, roses. Who sent them to you, Larry?
No, it was Rodney. Mr. Bevan, I mean.
You mean you've been seeing that English jerk?
Oh, no. But he's been sending me flowers every day.
Excuse me, may I come in?
Why, Mr. Law.
Hello, Susie.
Don't you want to say hello to Mr. Benson?
No. I just came to say goodbye to you and Happy.
Oh, where are you going?
To Vermont, where I belong.
Oh.
Where you can touch life and feel it and write it. I am not happy in Hollywood.
Really? When does the great exodus begin?
In exactly 1 hour, Mr. Benson, I will be on the plane.
And in exactly 1 week, Mr. Law, you will be back.
Back to what? This lousy sunshine? Listen, I've got me a little shack overlooking the valley, and I'm going to cook my own food, chop my own wood, and write. Benson, what a book that's going to be. I'm going to bare my soul. Going to write life in the raw. I've got the opening all planned. 2 rats in a sewer.
Sounds delightful.
Oh, my. I'm having a lot of visitors today. Come in. Oh, it's you, Rodney. Go away. And I don't want any more roses.
Well, Susie, if you don't want them, I'd like you to give them to Happy. Here.
Happy's not allowed to have flowers. He's got the measles. Oh, by the way, there was somebody here looking for you. Major...
Major Allingham.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes, I left word I'd be
Yeah,
here.
he said he had something for you.
My passport. I'm going home, Susie. Back to England.
Oh.
Susie, before I go... look here, I ask you before these 2 gentlemen. Will you marry me?
What?
Throw him out, Susie.
I've thought it all out, Susie, and I want you to marry me.
Well, I don't think you'd make a very sensible father for Happy.
Of course, I'm not very bright.
You can say that again.
But I'm not really at my best these days. Most people aren't when they're infatuated.
Oh, you couldn't be infatuated with me.
Oh, couldn't I? You are free to marry, aren't you?
Well, yes. You see, I really am a widow. Although I was never married. It's complicated.
This I would like to hear.
Well, you see, the man I married had a Mexican divorce. Although I didn't know it at the time I married him.
Go on, Susie, dear.
And then, I found out the divorce wasn't recognized in the United States. I didn't like that.
Naturally.
So, when I told him I didn't like it, he went to his ex-wife. Oh, she lived in Medicine Hat, Indiana. Isn't that a funny name? I always laugh when I say it. Medicine Hat.
That's very funny. Proceed.
Well, he went to her, and he asked her for an American divorce. He said she could go to Reno. Well, she said she wouldn't go to Reno. So he said he'd go to Reno. So she said, all right, you go to Reno. So he went to Reno.
So he went to Reno.
Well, you know, it takes 90 days in Reno. And all this time, his wife was sitting back there in Medicine Hat, brooding. Oh, she was very unhappy. I think she still loved him.
Okay, so she loved him.
So she followed him to Reno. Only she arrived too late. On the very day the divorce came through.
Then what did she do?
She shot him.
She shot him.
Yup. 6 shots. They all took effect. He died.
Well.
Why, Susie, then you are free to marry, aren't you?
Oh, I'm free. But the point is, do I want to? After all, I don't know you very well. You might have a Mexican divorce, too.
Oh, I assure you.
And not only that, but every time we meet, something terrible happens.
Here.
Susie, you asked our advice once, and I'm giving it to you now. Throw him out.
No, wait a minute. I want to ask him something. Mr. Bevan, when I come into a room, does something happen to you?
Of course. Very much so.
Oh,
Why'd you say oh?
because every time you come into a room, something happens to me, too.
Does it really?
Susie?
Oh, Rodney.
Oh, Susie.
Susie, do my eyes deceive me? Are you kissing an actor?
An English actor?
Boys, I've just been thinking it over. And I'm going to marry Rodney.
Him? Without our consent?
Yes, because I love him.
This bankrupt beachcomber. Don't make me laugh, Susie.
Come in.
I beg your pardon. Could you tell me if Mr. Rodney Bevan...
Oh, hello, Major. Looking for me?
Oh, there you are, Rodney. I've got your passport.
Thank you, Major. And now, will you be so kind as to tell these gentlemen who I am?
So delighted. Mr. Bevan's father is Lord Saveringham. The Lord Saveringham who...
His father?
Why, yes.
Rodney, is your father a lord?
Well, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, I guess it's all right.
If I can be of any further service, Rodney...
No, thank you, Major. I think we'll sail along beautifully now.
Well, then, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, I think we'd better go now, Bob. I don't believe her ladyship has any further need of our advice.
Oh, do you have to go?
Yes, milady?
You too, Mr. Law?
Yes, m'lady.
Mr. Law, please don't drink too much back there in Vermont.
Thank you, m'lady. Well, Benson, that's how it is. That's life. The poor little extra marries the waitress, and he turns out to be an English lord.
And you want to go back to Vermont.
Huh?
With the greatest stories of our careers handed to us on a platter. Look at it. Cinderella, Prince Charming.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? What else but? Boy meets girl, boy loves girl, boy gets girl. Only this time he's an English lord and she's a waitress. A brand new twist. Why, we could write the thing in a week. There isn't a studio in town who wouldn't pay through the nose for it.
Benson, I think you've got something there. Let's see now. Opening shot, the Queen Mary.
Cut to the deck. First class passengers only.
No. Third class. Rodney's traveling incognito.
Right. Medium shot, Rodney at the railing.
He's looking at the Statue of Liberty.
Close shot, he waves his hand.
Long shot. The Statue of Liberty waves back. The curtain has fallen on the Theater Guild production of Boy Meets Girl, presented by the United States Steel Corporation. Gene Kelly was starred as Robert Law, Frank Lovejoy was featured as Tom Benson, and Ruth Gilbert as Susie Seabrook. Paul Crabtree played Larry Toms, Philip Loeb, C.F., Chester Stratton, Rodney Bevan, Leon Janney, Rossetti, Edwin Jerome, Kalbfleisch, and Major Allington. Helen Shields was Miss Cruz, Royal Beale was Mr. Green, Alan Wagner, Peggy, and Richard Rober was Slade and the radio announcer. Now here's Lawrence Langner to tell you about next week's Theater Guild play to be presented by the United States Steel Corporation. Mr. Langner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've appropriately selected for our last play of this season Dodie Smith's famous comedy, Call It a Day, starring Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontanne. 20 times have Mr. Lunt and Miss Fontanne starred together in Theatre Guild plays. They are currently appearing in the delightful Broadway comedy, Oh, Mistress Mine. So if you listen in next Sunday, you'll hear Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontanne in the gay and witty comedy of family life, Call It a Day. With this presentation, the Theatre Guild on the Air will also call it a season for the summer months. And here is Mr. Brokenshire again with an announcement about United States Steel's summer program.
2 weeks from tonight, United States Steel will bring you the first production of its summer series, The Hour of Mystery, presenting the greatest stories of intrigue and adventure ever brought to radio. Stories by such masters of mystery as Eric Ambler, Dashiell Hammett, and Van Wyck Mason. The first program on the new U.S. Steel Mystery Hour will be Eric Ambler's gripping novel of international espionage, Background to Danger, and it will star the famous English actor Laurence Olivier. That's 2 weeks from tonight, same time, same station. The United States Steel Corporation hopes that you'll be with us next week at this same time when the Theatre Guild on the Air will present Dodie Smith's warm and witty comedy, Call It a Day, starring Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontanne. Remember, next week, Call It a Day. And remember, too, that when you see the USS label on any product, it means the steel is good. Gene Kelly appeared tonight through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the motion picture Two Sisters from Boston, with Jimmy Durante, who is celebrating his 30th year in show business. The staff for the Theatre Guild on the Air includes Homer Thickett, director, George Kondoff, producer, and Armina Marshall, executive director of the radio department. Music for tonight's play was composed and conducted by Harold Levy, and the play adapted for radio by Arthur Aaron. Your announcer, Norman Brokenshire.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, do you know what comes to my mind when I think of fresh bread, steaming hot baked potatoes, tasty pan-fried breakfast eggs, luscious cakes and cookies? Well, I think of that delicious modern margarine, Parquet margarine made by Kraft, because Parquet margarine makes all those good-tasting foods taste even better. Yes, Parquet's smooth, delicate flavor makes it grand for table use. Makes it a real flavor shortening for baking mouth-watering cookies, cakes, and pastries. Yes, and Parquet margarine is a delicious seasoning for hot vegetables. Makes pan-fried foods tastier, too. That's why I think of Parquet when all sorts of good foods come to mind. And another thing, whether you serve Parquet margarine at the table or use it for cooking, you can be sure it's good for your family. It's made from selected American farm products that are wholesome and nourishing. What's more, Parquet is a highly nourishing energy food, and every single pound contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So try economical Parquet margarine tomorrow. Just ask your dealer for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, the delicious margarine made by Kraft. And now let's visit our friend, the great Gildersleeve.
More hot cocoa, Judge Hooker?
No thanks, Bertie. I'm warm enough. My, but a nice fire feels good on a cold night, doesn't it, Gildersleeve?
How should I know? You've been blocking the heat in front of this fire all evening. If you're not careful, you'll give yourself a high hot foot.
Gee, Uncle Mort, don't you think the fire is good for Judge Hooker's ideas?
I don't know what you mean, Leroy.
Well, you said they were just half-baked.
Yes. I don't recall. Young man, isn't it time for you to be in bed?
Yeah, but you promised I could stay up as long as we had company.
Well, that's right. Only I never thought the company... excuse me, Judge. I guess my foot's fallen asleep.
Oh, you needn't hint, Gildersleeve. I'm going. Only it's been so cozy here, and the conversation's been so interesting.
Conversation? Sounded more like a monologue to me. Don't they let you talk down in your courtroom, Judge?
Poor man, he's just lonely and blue, that's all.
Who's lonely and blue? Why, just because I like the family atmosphere around here, in preference to sitting in that big, cold, empty house of mine, does that mean I'm lonely and blue?
Yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't come and stand in front of our fire and get all friendly and pink.
Well, maybe you're right.
You know what you need, Judge Hooker? Some good woman.
No, I don't. I've tried a dozen housekeepers, but they all quit.
Well, personally, I don't blame them, Judge. You're as crusty as a carload of peanut brittle.
What do you mean, crusty? I'll have you know that I'm still considered one of Summerfield's most eligible bachelors.
Yeah? Eligible for what? Social Security? Leroy, aren't you in bed yet?
Oh, another hint. Bertie, my coat and hat, please.
Yes, sir.
Now, Judge, don't leave just because Leroy's going to bed. How about a game of old maid, or rummy?
No, thanks, Gildy. You play rummy like an old maid, and old maid like a rummy.
Oh, a bad loser, eh?
Here's your wraps, Judge. Now be sure and bundle up well.
Thank you.
My, I don't blame the government for clamping down on the weather reports.
Why, Bertie?
Well, the less said about this weather, the better.
I guess you're right. Well, good night, folks.
Yeah. Good night, you little legal loophole.
Now, don't be too harsh on him, Mr. Gilsleeve.
Huh?
The poor man is only hungering for companionship.
Yes, and our food.
Why, when he looks at you in this nice house with your nice niece and nephew and eating all the nice meals I fix, he gets so green it looks like spring is here again.
Yeah. You know, deep down, Bertie, I really like the little duffer. And when I spoke about him needing a good woman, I didn't mean a housekeeper. I meant a good wife.
There's some nice ladies that he might take to.
Take two? That'd be bigamy, Bertie. You really only allowed one.
Sam, are you going to marry off the judge?
Well, I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched, but Leroy, I thought I told you to go to bed.
You did, Uncle Mort, twice.
Well, I'm not going to tell you again.
Gee, that's swell, Uncle. It was getting sort of monotonous.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going right now.
Well, up at last, eh, Leroy? The only thing more difficult than getting you to bed at night is waking you in the morning.
Good morning, Unc. Say, remember what you said last night about finding somebody to marry Judge Hooker?
Oh, well, I didn't mean for you to hear that, young man.
Well, it's lucky I did, because I've got somebody all lined up.
What do you mean? Who?
One of my teachers at school, Miss Cagle.
Huh?
Boy, the whole class has been trying to figure out a way to get rid of her ever since September.
They have?
Yeah, well, they be glad when I tell them the judge is going to marry her.
Whoa, here. Wait a minute, Leroy. First, what sort of a lady is this, Miss Cagle?
Well, to give you an idea, the kids elected her Miss Poison Puss of 1942. Unanimous. Why, she's so...
But if she's anything at all like that, why, nominate her for the title of Mrs. Hooker.
Is that wrong?
Well, after all, we're trying to make the judge's life brighter. Miss Cagle sounds like a drip with the first water.
Oh, gee, that's right. I was so anxious to get her off our hands, I didn't realize what a dirty trick it'd be on the judge.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to think of somebody else, I guess.
Excuse me, Mr. Gilsleeve, but how about looking here in the morning paper?
The morning paper? For what?
For the bride. Maybe one of the persons in the personal will turn out to be the judge's dream girl.
Well, thanks, Bertie. No harm in looking. Let me see. Oh, yes, here we are. Personals. Attractive young lady, blonde, wishes to meet sympathetic gentleman of means. Object, Hollywood.
No, I don't think that's the judge's style. Read the next one. That sounded better.
Yes. Here it is. A well-to-do widow interested in meeting professional man over 50. Have refined tastes and grand piano. Also, private income, own car, and 7 delightful children who will add life to any home.
Jeepers, 7 kids.
Yes, wrong number. I'm sorry, Bertie. I'm afraid our little Justice wouldn't have any peace if we snagged him a helpmate out of the help wanted.
Oh, Jeepers, look at the time. I gotta get over to Piggy Banks' house.
Yeah, what for, Leroy?
His Aunt Henrietta is knitting sweaters for the army, and I'm to bring her some wool Marjorie left for her.
Well, run along by all means, then. So Henrietta Banks is in town. Say, Henrietta Banks.
What's the matter with her?
Nothing. She's perfect. For Judge Hooker, I mean. She has a nice social position. Her grandfather was the first white child born in this county. And she's really not bad looking.
Gee, I didn't know you knew Piggy's aunt, Uncle Mort.
Yes, I met her about 10 years ago. I remembered I'd just ripped my trousers before she came over, and I didn't dare get up all the time she was here. It really was very embarrassing.
She sure sounds like the future Miss Judge Hooker.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try anyway. Let me have that yarn, Leroy. I'll deliver it. While I'm there, I can sort of subtly get around to talking about the judge and matrimony and things like that.
Swell, I'll get your hat and coat on.
Well, what about that appointment you had to get examined for insurance, Mr. Gilsleeve?
Oh, yes, the insurance doctor's due here in half an hour. You tell him I was called away on business, Bertie. Have him come in a day or so. If I'm going to press the judge's suit, I better strike while the iron is hot.
Stay out, Uncle Mort.
Thank you, Leroy. You know, I'm getting quite a kick out of this idea. Won't the judge be surprised when he finds out all I'm doing for him? Well, here I go.
Good luck, Mr. Gilsleeve.
Happy hunting, Unc.
Yes, well, thanks. Goodbye.
He's a pretty swell guy, isn't he, Bertie?
He sure is.
Going to all that trouble just to make 2 lonely people happy.
That's right.
Look at him walking down the street. A regular Dan Cupid.
Yes, sir. And he got the figure for it.
Yes, I'm coming. Oh, yes.
Well, little Henrietta Banks. Why, you haven't changed a day since I saw you 10 years ago.
I haven't. Oh, you're just being nice.
Huh?
Oh, now, don't tell me. I know who you are. You're Mr. Gilder something.
That's right, Gilder Sleeve.
Oh, yes.
Fancy you remembering me all this time.
Well, won't you come in, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, I don't mind if I do. My nephew, Leroy Forrest, was bringing over this yarn for you, and he happened to mention your name, and I said, well, never mind, you'd be surprised what I said.
Well, have a chair, won't you?
Thank you.
My, I can't imagine how you could remember me.
Huh?
After all, we only met once before, and you seemed so shy then.
Shy? Oh, yes, I remember. That was just a temporary bashfulness on my part. I suppose I was just afraid of making the wrong impression.
Oh, as if you could have.
As if I couldn't have. But tell me, Miss Banks, or rather, Henrietta, that is, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, not at all. Go ahead.
Well, when Leroy told me that you were here, I was greatly surprised to hear that you were still Miss Banks.
You were?
Yes. My, but I'll bet you put up a gallant fight against all the men who must have wanted to change your name.
Well, some girls like a certain independence.
Well, I knew that would be the trouble. That attitude of yours is hardly fair to us poor men, Henrietta.
Oh, do you think so, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes. Absolutely. Why, marriage is the most delightful of partnerships, I'm told. And reminds me, there's someone right here in this town who'd be just wonderful for you.
Oh, really now? I don't know what on earth you're talking about.
Now, Henrietta, you do too.
I do not.
Then I'll tell you.
Oh, don't. So embarrassing. Who is it?
Well, I'm not going to mention any names. But this fellow, well, he's been awfully lonesome. When I heard your name this morning, when he heard your name
yes,
this morning...
yes, I understand.
Well, that is, we...
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve,
Huh?
You haven't changed a bit. You're just as bashful and boyish as you were the first time I met you.
Well, I wasn't quite prepared. Possibly I'd better come back another time. Yes, I think I should go now. You'll be hearing from me later.
I will. Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, not goodbye. Au revoir, Henrietta.
Oh. Oh, Martha, you're acquainted with everyone in Summerfield. Well, tell me all you know about this Mr. Gildersleeve. Yes, that's the one. Yes? Yes? No. Well, what do you... No. 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 Oh, no. Well, lucky me.
All the muddled up cases I've ever had to listen to in all my life. Oh, hello, Gildersleeve.
Hi.
Glad you dropped in. How's everything?
Coming along better than you'd ever suspect, Judge. Remember our conversation out at the house the other night?
Of course I do. And as soon as I left, I thought of some dandy answers, too. Now, let me see if I can remember them.
Oh, don't bother.
But there's one thing I've been thinking about, Gildy, old man.
Yeah? What was that, Judge?
You remember saying that what I needed was a good woman?
Yeah?
I didn't give that much thought at first, but now I believe you're right.
Oh, that's fine. And I have a little lady who'll be just the person for you.
You think she'd know how to run my home right, huh?
Oh, yes, and make you very happy, too.
Hope she knows how to cook.
Oh, yes. I'm sure she's a wonderful cook. Very nice looking, also.
Not interested in her looks, Gildy. At my age, a good cook is a lot more important than a pretty face.
Oh. Well, this lady is both. I mean, she has both.
Huh?
That is, she is one and has the other. When would you like to meet her?
Sooner the better.
Well, how about dropping over to our house for dinner next Friday? I'll have her there, too.
Fine. Only you needn't go to all this trouble. Couldn't you just meet me here and we could settle the whole thing in 10 minutes?
Yes. Oh, no, you can't do things that way.
Why not?
Well, how do you know you're going to like each other, Hooker?
Huh?
This is a serious step you're about to take. You've got to approach it cautiously.
Oh, maybe you're right. Believe me, if she's all that you say she is, I'll keep her for life.
Well, I should hope so.
Oh, Judge, recess is over.
All right, Bailiff. I'll see you Friday night, Gildy.
Yeah, all right, Friday night. So long, Judge.
Say, Your Honor, if you're still looking for a housekeeper...
No, never mind. Mr. Gildersleeve has found a woman who sounds like a perfect servant.
Well, that's nice of him.
Yeah, he's a pretty good friend. In his fat, bumbling way.
Good afternoon, Bertie. Hello, Leroy.
Hi, Uncle Mort.
Well, I've arranged the whole thing. Judge Hooker's coming to dinner day after tomorrow.
Oh, then I better fix something extra special scrumptious with a touch of romantic and a dash of lovey-dovey.
Yes.
You invited Miss Banks, of course.
Oh, yes. And she was so excited she kept calling me a dear boy.
I sure hope she's going to like Judge Hooker when she meets up with him.
Oh, of course she will. Just as soon as I tell her that he's the unknown admirer who's been sending her the flowers and candy and poems. Say, did I read you the new poem I sent her last night?
No, let's hear it, Unc.
Yeah, I've got a copy of it here under the desk somewhere. Yes, here it is, under the water bill. Yeah. Listen to this, folks. Oh, Henrietta, sweet Henrietta, I can't forget a girl like you. Wherever I go, I see your face, in the sun and the snow or any old place. Your smile turns the winter into spring and makes my poor heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. And though I'm so shy, I worship from afar. Way up in my sky, you're the number one star. Oh, Henrietta, sweet Henrietta, I'd sure like to get a girl like you.
Oh, gee, I never knew you were a poet, Unc.
You sure have a gift, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Do you like it? I'll give you copies if you want them.
Well, that should sure make her feel mushy towards the judge.
Yeah.
Say, does he know he's been writing her all that guff and sending her all that stuff?
Yes. Oh, no, I've invited him to come here half an hour before Henrietta gets here. Remind me to button Hooker and tell him all about it then.
Yes, sir, that's a very good idea. And he won't have time enough then to get cold feet.
Yeah.
And cold feet has won more romances one way or the other than practically anything.
Well, is everything set, Bertie?
Yes, sir, right to a T. All the judge's favorite dishes to put him in good humor. You know, I planned to decorate the table with orange blossoms so Miss Banks would feel like a blushing bride when I couldn't get none. So I used oranges, so we was out. And that's why we got lemons on the table.
Yes. That must be the bridegroom-to-be now. Let him in, Bertie.
Yes, sir. And won't he be surprised to learn of what you done cooked up for him?
Yeah. Leroy, leave those olives alone.
Yes, sir, I was just rearranging them, that's all.
It ain't the judge, Mr. Gillsleeve, it's the insurance company. They done sent another doctor to give you that examination.
Oh, my goodness. I can't make it now. Tell him I'm busy. Have him come here another time.
Okay, but you better hurry before the rates go up.
The rest.
Gee, of all the times to show up just when we're ready to put over a big merger like this.
Leroy, I wish you'd include yourself out of this affair. It's a delicate matter involving the future happiness of two fine people. And I don't want you in your juvenile way to mess it up.
Oh, don't worry, Uncle Mort. I know my part. As soon as they go in the living room after dinner, I'll start playing those Nelson Eddy, Jeanette MacDonald records.
Well, you're a bright boy, Leroy. That's right. Don't slip up now.
The doctor done went, but he's been replaced by another visitor, Miss Henrietta Banks.
What? Oh, she's too early, Bertie. Why, the judge isn't here yet. Of all the numbskull females that ever are. Hello, Henrietta. My, how lovely you look tonight.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton.
Yeah?
And dear little Leroy, how are you this evening?
Oh, just fine, Miss Banks.
Oh, come now. No more of this Miss Banks, darling. Just call me Auntie.
Uh-oh.
Well, how are you, Throckmorton? The cat still got your tongue?
Who, me? Oh, no. We don't keep a tongue. I mean, nobody's got our cat. Won't you have a sit down?
Thank you. Now, come over here and sit beside me.
Huh?
There. That's better, isn't it?
Oh, yes, considerably.
You know, I was so anxious to find out what your surprise was. I just couldn't wait.
Oh.
That's why I'm here so early. Do you think I'm acting like a giddy young schoolgirl?
Yes.
Oh, Throckmorton, you say the most flattering, precious things. Almost as nice as your poems.
Yes. My poems? But I never wrote you any poems.
Oh, come now, don't deny them, you shy, modest boy.
But there must be some mistake.
Why, not at all. Oh, incidentally, Throckmorton, do you particularly like the color of those drapes at the window?
Well, I don't know. I never gave it much thought. Why?
Oh, I was just thinking about changing them, that's all.
Oh, you mean...
yes.
That's what I thought you meant.
Throckmorton, am I going to get that big surprise before dinner or afterward?
Well, Henrietta, looks like you're going to get it any minute now.
Excuse me, Mr. Gillsleeve, but there's an important phone call for you.
Phone call? Oh, my goodness. Excuse me, please. I'll be right back. Hello? Who is this?
Hello, Gildy, old chap. This is Hooker. Sorry I won't be able to make it tonight.
If what?
I got a hung jury that ought to be.
You've got to be here, Judge Hooker. You don't understand all the trouble I've gone to. Surprises and everything. How soon can you get here? Maybe I can install things.
Oh, don't count on me at all.
What am I going to do about Henrietta? Miss Banks.
Oh, you mean the new housekeeper?
Housekeeper?
Just tell her she's hired.
Hired?
Yeah, I'll take a chance. What can I lose?
But she isn't a housekeeper at all.
Then tell her she's fired. Goodbye, Gildersleeve.
Well, now I'm really in the soup.
Oh, Throckmorton. Is the surprise ready now?
Yes, Henrietta, but it's a different one altogether.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. I asked Judge Hooker to come here this evening. I told the judge all about you, but he can't make it tonight.
Oh, well, that's perfectly all right, Throckmorton.
What? It is?
Surely.
Oh, you don't know what a relief this is to me, Henrietta.
Why, you impetuous boy. Don't you realize that even if the judge had come, we couldn't get married without a license?
If the judge wasn't going to marry us. He was going to marry you.
To whom?
To himself.
But I don't know him at all.
Oh, yes, you do. He's your unknown admirer.
Oh, no, that's you.
Oh, no, that's the judge.
All right, then bring him here and let's see.
See? Oh, well, I can hardly do that for a little while yet.
Oh, you're just like all other men. After leading me on, it turns out to be a joke.
Yes.
A cruel, heartless joke. And after I told all my friends.
Oh.
Well, you haven't heard the last of this, Mr. Gildersleeve. There are courts and laws to protect innocent girls from men like you. Goodbye.
Oh, why was I ever born? I'm telling you, Judge. Leroy got it straight from the little Banks boy. His aunt has called in some lawyer named Taylor.
Oh, he's a tough man, this Taylor. He'll take you straight to the cleaners.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. They've been going over those letters and poems that I sent Henrietta.
Uh-oh, that's bad.
Yes. If they ever read those poems in court, I'll never be able to hold up my head again in Summerfield.
Serves you right for trying to marry me off. Gildersleeve, you're a pretty stupid Cupid.
But I meant everything for the best, Judge. Oh, please, can't you help me?
Why, yes, Gildersleeve, I'll be glad to help you. If you publish those poems, put me down for a copy.
Now, see here, Hooker. That's the wrong attitude after I played John Alden to your Pocahontas.
Gildersleeve, I'm going to get out of here before I get involved in this scandalous case. Goodbye. I'll be seeing you in the funny paper, Gildy.
The old goat. There's gratitude for you. The next time I take pity on him, I hope somebody gives me a good swift kick in the telephone. Hello? Who? Oh, Mr. Taylor. Tomorrow, Mr. Taylor? At what time, Mr. Taylor? Goodbye, Mr. Taylor. Oh, now my goose is fricasseed. Bertie, Leroy.
What is it, Unc? Did you call Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, more bad news. Henrietta Banks is sending her lawyer over to see me tomorrow afternoon. She's going to sue me for damages if I don't marry her.
Oh, gee, if you could only show her that you'd make a terrible husband.
It's nonsense, Leroy. I'd make a wonderful husband. What am I saying? I'd be awful.
Yeah, but how you going to prove it without marrying her?
Huh? Wait a minute. I just had an idea. Yes, I think it'd work out. If I could only convince that lawyer of hers that I'm not worth marrying.
But how?
I know. Now listen, you two. When Mr. Taylor, the lawyer, shows up tomorrow, Bertie, you'll meet him at the door, and then you'll say to him...
Come right in, mister. You can see Mr. Gildersleeve, but you got to promise to be quiet while you're in there, on account of he's a mighty sick man.
Oh, sick? Must be something new.
Oh, no, he gets this way off and on. Now, here he is, and remember, no getting him excited and no yelling at him.
Oh, of course not.
I brought you a visitor, the gentleman you was expecting.
Oh, yes. How do you do, sir? You won't mind if my nephew just goes on feeding me my chicken broth, will you?
No, not at all. Maybe I'd better come some other day when you'll be feeling better.
Oh, sometimes I wonder if I'll ever feel better.
No, don't say that, Unc. You still have a fighting chance.
Yes, thank you, my boy. You're such a comfort. More chicken broth, please.
Okay, Unc. Careful, it's hot.
Yes, I'll be careful. Oh! Hey, that is hot, Leroy.
Careful, Unc.
Careful? Oh, yes. Oh, the pain. No more soup, Leroy.
Well, what seems to be your trouble, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Why, I could tell you about my troubles all afternoon. But why bore you with an organ recital?
Yes, sir? That man is in no shape to get married, and any lady who gets hitched up with him better be ready to dye her wedding veil black.
No, Bertie, never say die. Uncle Mort still has a 50-50 chance.
Is that so? Do you want to bet? Oh.
Do you want to finish dictating your will, Uncle?
Excuse me for interrupting, Mr. Gildersleeve, but what's wrong with you?
My heart.
Oh, high blood pressure?
Alternating with low blood pressure.
Rather unusual.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, anything else. Unc has been given up by 10 doctors, 6 hospitals, and a chiropractor.
So you can see I'm really in no condition to take on new obligations.
Well, I should think not.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason for me to waste any time examining you. I'll just go back and report.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Hand me the telephone, Leroy. Thanks. Hello?
Hello, Gildersleeve. This is Judge Hooker. Say, heard the good news yet? It's all over the courthouse. Congratulations, you lucky stiff.
I don't think I understand.
Why, you know what's happened? Henrietta Banks has gone and eloped with her lawyer, George Taylor.
What?
Yeah, well, so long.
Well, wow, this is wonderful. All my troubles are over. Now she can't sue me. Henrietta married her lawyer, folks. Say, if she... Then who are you, mister?
Me? Oh, I thought you knew. I'm the doctor from the insurance company.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry you couldn't make the break, Mr. Gildersleeve. Goodbye.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. But right now, I want to answer some questions. Several people have asked me lately questions like, what's parquet margarine made of? Is it good for you? How can it taste so deliciously good? Well, I'm glad to answer those questions because it will explain why parquet margarine is so different and better than old-time margarines. Why it's a downright delicious food that's nourishing and wholesome, too. You see, parquet is a modern vegetable margarine made by Kraft. And the pure, refined American vegetable oils that go into parquet help make it the highly nutritious energy food that it is. And to its wholesome goodness, Kraft adds important vitamin A to parquet margarine, 9,000 units to every pound. Now, about parquet margarine's delicious flavor, it's Kraft's long experience in making good-tasting foods that accounts for that. Yes, if you think all margarines are alike, just taste parquet. That rich, delicate parquet flavor is making it a favorite everywhere for table use and for cooking, too. But why not find out about parquet margarine's goodness yourself? Yes, try a pound or two of economical parquet margarine tomorrow. Just ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, the delicious modern margarine made by Kraft, the makers of famous Miracle Whip salad dressing.
Now that you've been turned down, what are you going to do about insurance?
Leroy, I'm going to spend that money for some victory insurance.
What do you mean?
I'm going to invest in defense bonds that'll pay off in 10 years. It's like an endowment policy.
Well, and meanwhile, your dollars will be fighting for you and for Uncle Sam.
That's right. It's a wonderful way of combining business and pleasure, isn't it? Good night, folks.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to be with us again next week at the same time for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
To enjoy life. Life with Luigi, a new comedy show created by Cy Howard and starring that celebrated actor, Mr. J. Carroll Nash, with Alan Reed. A year ago, when Luigi Basco left Italy to start his new life in America, he promised his mother that he would write her and tell her about his adventures. So now, we look over Luigi's shoulder as he writes another letter to Mama Basco in Italy.
Dear Mamma Mia, it's now almost 1 year I'm in America, and everything is new and exciting. Like a traffic system they got here in Chicago. Streets is full of people and cars. In our little town in Italy is also traffic. Streets is full of people and the goats. I'm going to remember how every day a goat to run over somebody. Over here is much safer. I'm in Chicago 1 year, and I'm going to never see anybody get hit by a goat. Mamma Mia, I explain to you traffic system in America. It is very simple. Here they have a light. Red light means the cars are stopped, the people are go. Green light means the cars are go, people are stopped. It's nice and simple. Only trouble is, Mamma Mia, in the middle, they got a yellow light. I'm here 1 year, still I don't know what is the mean of yellow light. First I think is maybe to keep away mosquitoes. Then I'm stand on the corner and watch and watch and watch. And now I think I know. Yellow light is it to mix up everybody and to give a cop enough time to hand out the tickets. Mamma mia. Sometimes when I think about this traffic system, I think America's a very good, but maybe is a safer for a man in Italy. Goats that don't have offenders. This reminds me of our countryman Pasquale, who has a spaghetti palace next door to my antique store, and who bring me to this country. He is still the one thing I should marry is a fat Dora Rosa. Pasquale, he's got what they call here a single-track mind. And the Rosa, she's the super chief. Like this morning, my door opened and...
Luigi, my friend. Hello, Luigi. Hello.
Hello, Pasquale.
Luigi, my countryman, all the night long, I'm not to sleep better because I'm worried about you. Just look under my eyes. What do you see?
Your nose.
No. What do you see on the top of my nose?
More nose.
Luigi, look under my eyes. You see deep, dark circles. That's from a worrying about you. And you know why I'm worrying about you?
Why, Pasquale?
Because the trouble with you is you never go out. You in a store all the time. All the day long you sit and read. You sit and you sit. You use your head too much.
Pasquale, the reason I sit and read is because I'm studying the English language.
What's it good to study English when the only one you talk to is me and we talk Italian? Luigi, is it time you went out and meet other people? Why you shut yourself up? You like in the closet. You must go out and live and laugh and love.
How I do this to Pasquale?
Take out of my daughter Rosa.
I'm back in the closet again.
All right, have it your way. I'm not going to bother you about marrying a Rosa. I'm come here to tell you to go out and have a good time. That's good for your health.
Where do you think I should go, Pasquale?
Well, where all the tired of businessmen go at night?
To bed.
No, they go to night clubs.
They have a bed there?
Luigi is a night club, but not a Turkish bath.
Pasquale, I like it to go out and enjoy myself when I go to my first night club. And to do the things American people do. But is there no enjoyment to go out with your daughter Rosa?
No enjoyment to going out with a Rosa, eh? Luigi Basco, look at you. 5'4", curly hair, 2 different color eyes, big ears, a little nose, a crooked teeth, a green coat, a belt in the back, sneakers.
Pasquale, nice to talk, but don't change my mind.
Listen to your shrimp, your greenhorn, you. Nobody's going to go out with you but a bigger dough. So why don't you go out with my Rosa?
Pasquale, Rosa is a very nice girl, but not for me.
Then who is it for you? You've been in America 1 year. You go out with a nobody. Why? Because no American girls go out with you.
That's not true. I never ask American girl.
Luigi, you couldn't get an American girl even if you were born an American and a girl is born in Italy.
I prove you wrong, Pasquale. I get American girl.
All right, my little man, I'm telling you what I do. I show you Pasquale's a sport. If you get American girl to go out with you tonight, I pay check at a nightclub. But if you don't get a girl to go out with you tonight, you take out a Rosa.
Is it not fair, Pasquale?
Oh, little mouse is talk big. He's not so sure of himself.
I'm sure of myself, Pasquale. I get American girl and go out tonight, or my name is not Luigi Basco. What do you say to that?
Goodbye, Sam.
Hello, my teacher, Miss Spaulding.
Hello, Mr. Luigi. What brings you to my classroom?
There's something I want to talk to you about. But first, here's an apple.
What a lovely red apple.
Miss Spaulding, if I have my way, I bring you 10 apples every day. In 1 month, you have your own push cart.
Mr. Luigi, it's nice of you to think of me that way.
Miss Spaulding, I'm always think about you. I remember when I first started in your night school class. Somebody tells me how much little salary you make. You know, since that day, I'm coming to school with my own chalk.
Mr. Luigi, that wasn't necessary.
And remember last Christmas? The whole class chips in and buys you a fountain pen. And you found one extra present. Handkerchief.
That handkerchief was yours?
Out of my own pocket. I paid for it myself.
Mr. Luigi, that's very touching.
You got no idea how I feel about you. When I stand up in a night school and I'm a recite the Jack and a Jill went up at the hill, then I'm saying it to myself, Luigi, when are you and Mr. Spaulding going to make that trip?
I had no idea you felt this way.
You got no idea how I'm feeling. Remember when Schultz, that the stupid delicatessen man that puts a tack under your chair and you sit on it? Believe me, Miss Spaulding, the pain went right through my heart. Please, Miss Spaulding, is there something I must know?
What is it?
Would a nice American girl like you go out with a poor Italian fella like me?
Of course, Mr. Luigi. I wouldn't be an American if Columbus hadn't discovered this place.
Pasquale is wrong. Tonight we go to night club.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Luigi, but I have another date for tonight.
Oh, you sure you'll tell the truth? Maybe you think I can't afford.
Not at all. In fact, the fellow I'm going out with tonight's very poor. He doesn't have a penny.
Oh, he's another school teacher.
No.
What is important for me? I must get American girl for tonight.
Why tonight?
Because of Pasquale. He's to say I'm not going to get American girl.
Now, Mr. Luigi, it's easy to know girls. Have you seen any American girls you like?
Sure I see.
Well, then it's very simple. Why don't you call one of them up?
How?
Just use your phone book.
Thank you, my teacher, Miss Spaulding. I'll do it. Mrs. Spaulding says to use the phone book. Sounds funny, but I use it. Chicago Telephone Directory. Classified. Let me see. Girls, I look under G. Garbage disposal. Garment bags, the gas six generators. Now I'm getting it close. Girdles. Glass. Mamma mia, where's the girls? That's so funny, isn't it? A list for girls. Must be all out of town. Let's try the telephone book. Here's a lot of names. American the telephone book must be full of good American names. Look. Oh, Houlihan. Brzezinski, Swenson, Horowitz, Bajinian, Jung-Lu, Krausmeyer. Smith. That's good. I think I look up nice American name. Mary Smith. Let me see. Mary Smith. Mary Smith. Mary. Must be a very popular girl to have her name in it so many times. And look at all the different addresses that she's got. Mamma mia, people can't get a place to live. This girl, she's got 100 apartments. Well, I think I call her up. I sure, Pasquale. I'll find American girl tonight. Hello, Mary Smith. This is Luigi Basco. Can you go out on a date with me tonight?
This is Mr. Smith. What are you saying?
Well, I try another girl. I get a different American name. Jones. Betty Jones. That's so nice.
Hello?
Hello? Is this Miss Betty Jones?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Luigi.
Oh, gee, Louie.
No, Luigi.
Oh, cut it, Louie. When'd you get back?
I never went.
Say, are you pulling my leg?
Oh, the telephone is not possible.
Say, who is this anyway?
Luigi Basco.
You're not kidding.
No. It's a funny thing. In America, nobody says a goodbye. Well, if it looks like a Pasquale's are going to win us a bet, I'm going to try one more girl. Oh, here's a nice name. Susie Brown. That's right. Evanston 41, please.
What number are you calling, please?
I'm not calling a number. I'm calling Susie Brown, Evanston 41.
That's a suburban call. I'll have to connect you with the toll operator.
Phone company has two sizes. Toll operator and a small operator. Well, I guess a toll operator is for long distance. Listen, for Luigi Basco, maybe you got the medium-sized operator?
Oh, you're a kidder. Sorry. Your number is busy.
Mamma mia. Operator, are you busy?
What do you mean, sir?
Well, I'm going to a nightclub tonight. And I'd like to know if you like it to come with me.
I'm sorry. It's against the company rules.
Then you want to go?
I didn't say that. I just said it was against company rules.
Oh.
However, it's not against the company rules to be in front of the Wrigley building at 8 o'clock wearing red pumps, open toes, mesh stockings, 51 gauge, blue hat with brown feather, and I'll have on a scrumptious fur coat imitation I.J. Fox. Peggy Marshak. Oh, shh, the supervisor's coming. He pocketed another 5 cents, please. And how will I recognize you?
Well, that's going to be hard. Wait. I know how you recognize me easy.
How?
I'm going to carry a balloon.
And now for the second act of Luigi Basco's adventures in Chicago, we turn to page 2 of his letter to his mother in Italy.
So now, Mamma Mia, I'm going to have it tonight. My first date with an American girl. If you see me now, Mamma Mia, you think maybe your boy Luigi is crazy. Here it is a Sunday, and I'm already take a bath. After that, I pour on myself some special stuff I buy from a barber. It's very expensive. It costs me 10 cents a half a milk bottle. Now you can smell me all the way to Italy. Also, to make good impression, I'm going to dress up extra special. You should see my suit now. Looks brand new after I'm going to get through washing it. So now I'm going to tell Pasquale all about my date with American girl. Hello, Pasquale.
How you like this? My eyes say it's a Luigi, but my nose don't believe in my eyes.
Stop making fun of me, Pasquale. I'm all dressed up for the nightclub.
Oh, Luigi, my son, I'm almost forgot. Are you all dressed up to take out of my Rosa?
No, I'm going to pick out a telephone operator.
Where you get her?
From a telephone company.
Must be a new kind of service.
Pasquale, I'm not here to argue. Remember what you promised me. If I get a date to myself, you pay for the nightclub.
What's the matter? You crazy? You think I'm going to lock the barn when somebody's not going out there with my horse?
But Pasquale, this afternoon you promised me.
Then it was impossible for you to get a girl, or was it possible for me to keep a promise? Now, is it possible for you to get a girl? Is it impossible for me to keep a promise?
You mean you're not going to pay?
My friend, I give you my answer in 2 words. Impossible.
Pasquale, you think you're killing my good time, huh? Well, you won't. I'm going to use my own money. I'm going to take a girl to nightclub. We eat, we drink, we dance, we go home in a taxi. And maybe even I'll buy her a flower.
Oh, how much money you got, little man?
$1.80.
$1.80, you big stupid. You couldn't, $1.80, eh? Sure, that's fine. With all of that money, you can have a wonderful night. You can go any place, eat all you want.
You sure, Pasquale?
Well, I prove you. Here, look at my menu. Ham sandwich is 20 cents. With a pickle, it's 20 cents. With a potato chips, it's 20 cents. With a bread, it's 25 cents.
Pasquale, people eat during the daytime. Nighttime food is sure to be cheaper. Sure, that's right. So maybe a sandwich is only 15 cents. Or you order a whole dinner. In my restaurant is 65 cents. In a night at club is a night rate, maybe 50 cents. You think I can also order the wine? Sure, wine. I charge you 15 cents, maybe they only charge a nickel. Then I have enough to left for a taxi. Sure. That's right. Taxi is only 20 cents a mile. I go only half a mile is 10 cents. Sure. You see, Luigi, you take a girl out at the night club like a Chez Paris. You eat or you drink, you take a taxi, you still have a 40 cents left over. What are you going to do with so much money? Let me see. I know. If I like a girl, tomorrow night I take her out again. Now, America, I love you. You like a papa to me. Almost. Well, it's 5 minutes after 8. I wonder where's the girl. I'm standing here with my balloon. Maybe she's not to come. Hey, there's the girl with the red shoes, the black coat. Oh, Mr. Marshank. Hey, here's me.
I beg your pardon.
I'm a fellow make a date with you, Luigi Basco. See the balloon?
Oh, brother.
No, not as a brother. It's for me, Luigi.
Well, it was a very pleasant evening. Goodbye.
Oh, but the lady. What about the date with a nightclub?
Where are you going to take me?
Nice, quiet place. Chez Paris.
Chez Paris? Oh, you must be really loaded. Appearances are certainly deceitful. Well, what have I got to lose? Okay, let's go.
Yes, sir. Right this way, I have a nice table for the... Hey, ain't you Luigi Basco? Remember me, Tony Manelli, Napoli. My father, fisherman.
Tony Manelli. That's right. You little boy. Now you big head away. I'm happy to see you.
Luigi, no kiss here.
Okay.
Luigi, I understand you're going with the Pasquale's daughter, Rose. Last time I see Rose, she's a big, just like an elephant. My this little girl, she looks just like a chicken.
Don't worry, Rose is still big like elephant. This chicken is somebody else.
Well, have a good time, Luigi. Fred, pull down the front of the special table. Well, a good evening, mister. That's a nice fellow, Luigi.
Luigi, you certainly know the right people.
Well, you see, I know him since I'm a baby. My mother used to clean a fish for his father.
What about your father?
My father, there was a man. Every morning, winter, summer, snow, rain, he get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
What for?
To wake up with my mother to go to work. It's a big place, no?
Uh-huh.
Right this way, sir. Your table. May I have your hat?
It's no use to you take. No fit to you anyway.
Oh, you're so continental. Excuse me while I go powder my nose. Order for me, will you, Luigi?
Here's your menu, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Waiter. I'm going to order a big meal. Now, let me see. First, we start with waiter. I think there's a mistake in your menu.
What's wrong?
It'll say here, ham sandwich, $2. Is there a decimal point in the wrong place? Should have been 20 cents.
No, it's right, all right.
Olives. Olives are $1. Must be very expensive pits. Lamb chops are $4. Mister, you prepare something special for me?
Yes. What would you like?
Ham sandwich for 20 cents.
Well, sir, you must be joking. Our cover charge is $4.
Then take away the tablecloth.
Well, while you're thinking it over, would you like to order a drink?
That's what I like.
Good. What'll it be?
2 glasses of water.
What can I do? I'll bring it.
2 glasses of water, 80 cents.
Mamma mia. Dr. Pasquale, he's to do this on me purpose. Now, what am I going to do?
Oh, Luigi, I'm enjoying myself immensely. What did you order for us?
Nothing.
Oh, you're so considerate. You wouldn't order without me. Well, I know just what I want. Steak.
I was afraid of that, so let's go.
Go, we just came. And they have such a good floor show. Danny Thomas and the Flying Eucalyptus.
Listen to Peggy, I must tell you the truth. The reason we go is because I ain't got enough...
Luigi, my friend. Hello, Luigi. Hello. I see you celebrate. Well, sit down and we join you.
Pasquale, we're going to... Pasquale, don't push.
Then stay. We all have a good time.
Let's stay, Luigi.
Oh, you're here alone, Pasquale?
Now, I'm here with my daughter Rosa, the 2 of us.
Wait a 3 chairs.
Rosa, come here. Say hello to Luigi.
Hello, Luigi.
Hello, Rosa. Say hello to the young lady.
Hello, young lady. Hello, Rosa. Anything else you want me to say, Papa?
Now, shut up your face. Luigi, we're very happy to be your guest.
I'm glad that somebody's happy.
Well, we're going to eat. I love the food. Luigi, you eat yet?
No, the food here is too rich.
I know just what you mean. Well, I'm order. Waiter.
Yes, sir.
Put this down. 2 shrimp cocktails, 2 vegetable soup, 2 shepherd salad, 2 T-bone steak, 2 mashed potatoes, 2 string of beans, 2 bottles of beer, 2 Boston cream pie, 2 cups of coffee, and 2 plates ice cream.
Will that be all?
No, I'll have 2 of the
Luigi, that's the best supper I'm having in my life. A steak, potatoes, a pie, ice cream. What could have come after such a supper?
The electric chair.
Luigi, you're a wonderful host. I'm so full I could bust.
When?
Hey, Pasquale, I hope you and the Rosa enjoy the meal. Very much, Tony. I'm sorry Luigi don't eat it because the man who pays the check, he should eat.
That's a good idea, Pasquale. You eat, you pay the check.
No, Luigi. I'm not going to take this pleasure away from you.
Please, foster yourself, Pasquale.
No, it's no use. Tony, give Luigi the check.
Tony, I'm ashamed, but I must have...
Luigi, sit down.
Huh?
Pasquale. The check. I'm not going to pay. Luigi's going to pay. Oh, no. You eat or you pay. Before I pay. You wash the dish. Oh, no. First you pay. What a cheap frame up. All right, I pay, but I'm never come here again. The food is terrible. Huh, Rosa?
I'll have 2 of the same.
Oh, shut up, you thing.
Well, Tony, thank you.
Sit down, Luigi. Don't run away. I'm going to explain why I give Pasquale the check.
Why?
Well, 6 years ago, Pasquale bring me to Chicago. He promised me big opportunity. What do you think is a big opportunity?
Don't tell me.
You're right, Rosa. 1 year he make my life a miserable trying to marry me to Rosa. But tonight I finally get even with him, and thanks to you, Luigi, my countryman.
You're welcome, Tony. But please, now we have to go.
No. Now you and your girlfriend sit down and eat.
Eat?
Yes, the food is on the house.
Thanks, Tony. But if it's the same to you, please put the food on the table.
All right, what are you going to have?
I'm going to let the Peggy order.
Peggy, your favorite, please.
Steak, potatoes, pie, ice cream, coffee, bread and butter.
Okay. And Tony, one more thing.
What's that?
No water. Well, good night to Peggy.
Think Hello, Luigi.
Is it this American custom? Standing in the hallway?
Yeah. But don't ring on the doorbell if you wake up all the neighbors.
Peggy, I'm going to tell you something. It's the first time tonight I'm going to go out with an American girl. Tell the truth. You and I have a good time, huh?
Oh, no, Luigi. I had a wonderful time.
You did? I don't believe you.
Yes. And you know what I like about you, Luigi?
You like?
Yes. Every other fellow I go out with, all they can think of is wrestling. You're different.
If you like, I study wrestling.
No! Luigi, I'm not doing anything Tuesday night. Maybe you're not doing anything Tuesday night.
So what? Means we both are not doing anything at Tuesday night.
No. It means we have a date.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night.
I said good night.
That's what I said.
Good night.
Good night. And it's so, Mamma Mia, I'm a-closing this letter to tell you everything that come out to good on my first date with an American girl. But maybe you think I was act a little too fresh. I let the girl kiss me. Also, Mamma Mia, I must say, I'm a very grateful to Alexander Graham Barra for an inventing a telephone operator. P.S. Your loving son, Luigi, the little immigrant.
Next week at this time over most of these stations when Luigi Basco writes another letter to Mama Basco describing his adventures in America. Life with Luigi is a Cy Howard production and is written by Highcraft and Cy Howard and stars J. Carroll Nash as Luigi Basco with Alan Reed as Pasquale. Music is directed by Lynn Murray. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. It seems to me, said Mr. White, that the future is not a unified dream, but a miracle pie, long in the baking, never quite done. It does seem that way, doesn't it? But we all know that eventually the pie will have to be done. Not necessarily because it's ready, but quite simply because the oven shall have burned out.
The Council of Elders has been forced to make a decision. We must commit murder.
Murder? What is that?
We must end a life.
But a life can only end when the time comes.
Life can be taken from the body.
Who? Who among us could take life from a body?
You.
Never.
Not now. But you could be programmed.
Please. Why me?
You have been chosen by the computer.
Our mystery drama, The Golden Girl, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Gordon Heath and Earl Hammond. It is sponsored in part by True Value Hardware Stores and ARM, Allergy Relief Medicine. I'll be back shortly with Act One. future is shaped by the thoughts and the deeds of every single human being. Everything becomes part of the unfolding design. The feathered wings of the ancient Greek inventor Daedalus evolve into the space capsule of the modern astronaut. Well, our story today begins in a large and crowded auditorium. A tall, dynamic, middle-aged man is holding his audience spellbound.
Yes, I am the messenger Lawrence. And you may ask, the messenger from whom? I reply, I am the messenger from the power that has created this universe, the power that rules this universe.
Speak the message!
The message! You have fallen to sloth and sin.
Oh, speak the message!
Abomination and error.
Yes, we have, yes.
Therefore, you will listen to my message.
Yes, speak it.
There must be order.
Order.
There must be discipline.
Discipline.
There must be obedience. Order. Discipline. Or shall I tell you what there will be?
Oh, tell us.
Or there shall be punishment. The power speaks through me. Listen. I am the messenger Lawrence. Order, discipline, obedience. Say it to me. Raise your voices.
Elwood.
Yes, messenger.
Did I reach the people?
You were magnificent.
No, Elwood, I was not magnificent. It was the power.
Oh, no, it was the power shining through you, messenger.
I have now rested. Are the people still waiting?
Not a soul has left the hall.
Then I shall return.
Let me adjust your robe, messenger.
Have the penitents been assembled?
Yes, messenger.
And?
A half dozen have been chosen for your personal healing.
Good. Come. I feel the power.
The first one is rather interesting.
Yes?
I chose her because in her written report she relates that she has never been able to speak, and so she has come to you for the miracle.
If it is the will of the power to cure her, she will be.
I also chose her because I believe she will make a most unusual temple priestess. She's tall, slender, and she appears to be made of gold.
Gold?
Yes, there seems to be a shining quality in her face. She has a beauty that is breathtaking.
Come. The power surges within me. I know there shall be a miracle. My people, it is time for the healing. It is time for the power. And here is our first penitent. What is your name, my child?
Messenger, may I speak for her?
Speak, and may the power hear.
She has written these words. I desire the healing touch of the messenger Lawrence. Since my birth, I have known only silence. Medical science has been unable to give me a voice. I appeal, therefore, through him. Let the power give me speech.
We have heard the request of this magnificent young woman. Truly a golden girl. See how the glow of goodness and purity shine in her face. Surely the power shall grant this prayer that comes directly from the heart. Step forward, my child, and let me touch you. Now.
No, stop her! Oh, no!
This is an up-to-the-minute recap of today's unbelievable story. The messenger Lawrence was shot and killed just a few minutes ago in the Temple of the Power by an unknown woman. It happened suddenly before several thousands of his devoted followers. At this point, nothing is known of the woman who killed him, except that she posed as a penitent and that she is described as spectacularly beautiful. She is now in police custody. Thus, abruptly, ends the career of this charismatic but controversial figure.
Thank you, guard. I'll call you when I want you. Oh, how do you do? My name is Stillman, Arthur M. Stillman. Well, I'm here because I've been appointed by the court to serve as your counsel. You, of course, have the right to choose your own, but evidently you didn't, so, well, shall we get to it? Look, ma'am, if you don't want me to represent you, just say so. I assure you I am quite competent. May I ask you something? Are you determined not to talk to me? Now, look, I'm your lawyer. Now, sooner or later, you're going to have to talk to somebody.
I killed another human being.
Yes, that's what this thing is all about.
I committed murder.
Yes, that's why we're here. So now, let's get to it.
I was able to do it. I was actually able to do it.
We should begin at the beginning.
I killed him.
We have already established that.
What will they say to me when I come home?
Well, the fact is, you're not going home. I mean, for a while, at least. And if we don't get to work on a defense, you may never go home at all.
Oh, I shall go home quickly enough.
Speaking of home, where are you from?
Will my life be the same? Can it ever be the same?
Of course. I mean, after a while.
But murder.
No. You'll see. People forget. You move away. You change your name. And so, what is your name?
Killing. It simply is not a part of our culture.
Well, I can't agree. Sometimes I look around and I have to believe that killing is actually the cornerstone of our culture.
No. Your society, perhaps, but not mine.
I think you're in a state of shock. You seem unable to think clearly. But certainly you're in no condition to talk to me. Would you like to see a doctor?
Why should I see a doctor? I can monitor my own vital signs.
Well, obviously you're disturbed.
Of course I'm disturbed. I have committed murder. The enormity of it, I can think of absolutely no precedent.
Then you don't want to see a doctor?
No.
Look, what do you want?
I want to be left alone.
This is your late afternoon news roundup. Here we are, live, outside the House of Detention on Sycamore Street. Here is where the killer of the messenger Lawrence is being held. Who is she? Where does she come from? Why did she do it? Everything about her is shrouded in mystery. All we know is that she has a kind of radiant beauty. She is like a golden statue. Hold it. Here's the man we've been waiting for. Her attorney, Arthur M. Stillman. Mr. Stillman, could we talk to you for a few seconds?
Yes.
In view of the tremendous public interest generated in this case, can you tell us something about your client?
No.
Why did she do it?
I couldn't tell you that.
Was she motivated by political or religious considerations?
I cannot comment on that.
Mr. Stillman, there is one thing you can tell us. What is her name?
Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that either.
But surely, Mr. Stillman...
If you'll excuse me. Good morning.
Oh, yes. Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, you seem to be in so much better spirits today.
Of course. I shall be leaving soon.
Leaving? For where?
Home.
Home?
You don't believe it?
You just simply refuse to accept reality.
Why must I accept your reality?
Oh, you mean there's more than one?
Oh, my dear. There are any number.
Now, look, you simply must talk to me.
You're very unhappy, aren't you?
Unhappy isn't the point. I'm charged with preparing your defense.
You must not worry about it.
Do you realize that you'll have to fight for your life? At the very least, your liberty.
I can see that you are an extremely sincere and sensitive person.
Yes, but I must know how I can defend you.
That won't be necessary.
Do you realize that within a month your case will be up for trial?
But in a month, I shall not be here.
Oh, please.
I am quite disturbed by the fact that you're so unhappy.
But you can fix that.
Tell me how.
Just tell me who you are and why you killed him. See, that'll make me happy.
No. If I told you those things, it would make you even more unhappy.
How did we get off on this happiness kick?
Happiness. Why, that's the most important thing in all the universe.
Happiness?
Happiness. Meaning harmony. Meaning peace.
All right. Now, why do you keep insisting you will not be here?
Because it's true.
Does that mean you plan to,
To what?
To commit suicide?
Oh, no. Never.
But you imply that you intend to escape. And when there's no other way...
Suicide? What a notion.
Well, I can't see any other way you could get out of here unless...
I shudder to think of such a thing.
Unless you're part of an organized effort. Is that it? Do you have Confederates? Do they have a plan to get you out of here?
You must understand. Suicide is murder. And I can tell you this. Never again could I be programmed to commit murder. Never.
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
I said I could never again commit murder.
No, that's not how you said it.
Well, how did I say it?
You said, and I heard it distinctly, you said never again could I be programmed to commit murder.
Of course. That's exactly what I said.
A program?
Certainly.
I'm not sure that I understand.
Come now. How could you possibly commit murder unless you are programmed for it?
What do you mean, programmed?
Why don't we ask Mr. Webster? He tells us that program comes from the Greek, pro and graphene, which means to write down beforehand. We also note that the word program, which commonly referred to a schedule of events, has now been given new scope by the introduction of computers. Isn't it odd how one of the oldest words in the world has become the mainstay of one of the newest sciences? But what has this to do with our story? The second act tells the tale. Speaking of Russia, Mr. Churchill once described it as a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. Speaking of the lady who is at the center of our story, how could we describe her? Certainly she's a riddle, a mystery, and an enigma, and we can also add a puzzle and a paradox. Do you realize that as we stand here on the threshold of Act 2, we do not even know her name?
Well, what do you mean, program?
Mr. Stillman, the best thing for you would be to call the guard, leave this place, and never return.
Do you mean you're discharging me as your attorney?
I should.
But you haven't given me a chance to do anything for you.
There's nothing you can do for me.
Look, I don't understand. You don't tell me anything, and then when you do talk to me, it's all in riddle.
I shall bring you nothing but trouble.
Oh, what kind of trouble?
You're in love with me.
How can you say that?
Do you deny it?
But I don't even know you.
I can tell by the way you look at me.
The way I look at you?
You keep looking and looking and looking.
we are sitting in a rather small cell. How can I not look at you?
It's the way you look at me.
Hey, now, wait. Just hold it right here. You keep getting off the subject. you'd come up with a provocative statement, and before we can get into it, you'd say something else.
You may not be aware of the fact that you're in love with me. Just yet.
All right. I admit I can't take my eyes off you. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life.
Is that why you volunteered to defend me?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
You're a man with a kind heart. But there can never be anything between us.
Oh, who said that?
There is too great a distance. Our worlds are too far apart.
What worlds?
Do you know how far my world is from here? Why, it's not even part of this solar system.
What are you trying to tell me?
Isn't it obvious? We could perhaps bridge the gap in space, but what about the distance in time?
Now I know the defense. Why, there can't be any other. Insanity. All I have to do is put you on the stand.
In your briefcase, among your papers, is a calendar. You see the date? Today's date?
Look.
I haven't been born yet. Nor shall I be for at least 3,000 years. So you see, it cannot be possible between us. I wouldn't want you to be hurt because of me.
I just wish you would tell me what you're talking about.
Perhaps I shall.
Oh, finally.
And then you shall understand why you had better leave me. My name is Raya.
Raya what?
Just Raya. It's enough. I come from, we call it in your language, the word would be serenity.
Where is that?
Well, you wouldn't know. If it were nighttime, I could point to the star and show you. It would be my solar system.
Look, I did... No, I'll just listen. No, I won't say a word. But just answer this. Did you say you come from another world?
From another world and another time.
Huh? All right. Why not? What have you got to lose?
It's a world of happiness.
Sounds great.
It's a world without crime, without violence. I didn't even know there were such things until I was programmed for this mission.
Said mission being to assassinate the messenger Lawrence?
Yes.
Oh, great. We have one gang of fanatics declaring war on another.
You don't believe me?
No, you just go ahead. Oh, this is guaranteed to fly in the courtroom. What did you say the name of your world was? Serenity? Oh, it gets better.
Why won't you believe me?
Look, you may have to do a couple of years, but it probably won't even be in jail.
I know why you don't believe me. It's because you have not yet evolved into serenity. You need thousands of years of evolution.
Serenity, huh? Well, all right. How do we describe it to the jury?
Serenity. I told you. It's a world without crime, without violence, only happiness and beauty. Such beauty everywhere. There is no ugliness in our world, no sorrow, no bitterness. Indeed, I never knew what those things were until I was programmed for the mission. No hatred in our world, no blind anger, no corroding jealousy, no malice, no spite. Indeed, I never even knew what those things were until I was programmed for this mission. No quarrels, no conflict, no discord. I never even knew what these were. I was programmed for
Your name is Raya.
Yes, Elder?
Do you know why you were asked to come here?
No, Elder.
To save the world.
Save the world? What could possibly happen to the world, Elder?
Listen.
Order! Discipline! Obedience!
What is that, Elder?
Order! Discipline! Obedience!
What is he saying?
Order! Discipline! Obedience!
What do those words mean?
What do you think they mean, Raya?
I don't know.
Yes?
Oh, they frighten me.
Listen.
There must be order, discipline, obedience. Or shall I tell you what there will be?
Elder, I feel ill.
There shall be punishment.
No!
The power speaks through me.
Oh, please! Please!
And I am the messenger. I am the messenger.
No, I can't listen. I can't.
All right. It is no longer necessary.
Oh, what is that?
Raya, it's a power that is sweeping through the universe.
I don't understand.
These are people. Armed people.
Armed? What is that?
They have weapons.
I don't know what you're saying.
Planet by planet, system by system, they conquer.
Conquer?
Conquer and enslave. Each year, the armed people come closer to Serenity. Soon they shall invade us. How can we fight them?
Fight?
We cannot wage war.
War?
We have programmed aggression out of our minds and hearts. We cannot defend ourselves.
Defend?
See? You cannot even conceive of it.
But what do they want? These armed people.
He is spreading the gospel, I suppose you could call it that, of an ancient leader, this Messenger Lawrence.
But what gospel?
Power.
Why is it so difficult for me to understand?
Because we are different. Over the centuries, all the emotions, the urges, the drives that distort or destroy Serenity have been programmed out of our hearts and minds.
Why can't I comprehend what you're saying?
You will, soon enough. You have been chosen to perform a mission.
What is a mission?
The elders of our world have been forced to make a terrible decision. We must commit murder.
Murder?
We must end a life.
What do you mean, end a life? A life ends when the time comes, when the body has outlived its ability to...
Life can be taken from a body.
Taken?
My poor Raya. I can just imagine the feelings that are raging inside you. All of us, the elders, were forced to go through it. But there is no other way.
But who? Who among us could take life from a body?
You.
No.
Not now, of course. Not yet. You would have to be programmed.
Never.
Our only hope is to make a change in the past.
But to take a life.
To make sure that something evil, loathsome, a seed of eventual destruction would not be planted.
But to kill.
Yes, we must kill the Messenger Lawrence. You must kill the Messenger Lawrence.
I have no right.
Or he will kill us all.
How could I?
My child, the technology has been unused for centuries now. But we have it.
I don't want to.
We can be transcended through time and space.
But why me?
Because the computer has spoken.
The computer?
Only you, Raya. Only you in this entire world of ours have the psyche that will accept the special programming.
Nothing you could ever devise or even dream of could ever make me kill.
The computer does not agree.
I'm to be sent back somewhere in space to end a life. That is what you're telling me.
Yes.
After I take this life, what becomes of me? Is that to be the end of me?
No, child. Of course not. After you have performed your mission, you will be brought back to Serenity.
How?
the same way you left. You will be transcended through space and time.
But how can I live here again afterwards? I'll be an alien. My home, my world. I will have lost it forever.
No, child. That isn't true.
But I shall have taken a life. I shall have known violence.
After the act is performed, you will be reprogrammed. In a short while, everything that can disturb or destroy serenity shall disappear from your psyche, and then you shall return.
Elder.
Of course, you are free to refuse.
What must I do?
Sit in this chair, my child. Amora, the straps.
Why am I being confined? I am not accustomed to it.
Look at the wall in front of you. What do you see?
A man's face.
Look at his face. How does he make you feel?
I don't know.
Listen to his voice.
I am the messenger, Lawrence. I am the messenger from the past.
How does he make you feel?
Frightened.
Look at his face. You fear him.
Yes.
There must be order.
You hate him.
I don't know.
You could kill him.
No. No.
Order. Discipline. Obedience.
You fear him.
Yes.
You hate him.
I'm not sure.
You could kill him.
No. No. I don't want to.
Order. Discipline. Obedience. Punishment.
You fear him.
Yes.
You hate him.
Yes. Yes.
Punishment. Punishment.
You hate him.
Yes.
Fear him.
Yes.
Then kill him.
Yes.
Hate him. Fear him. Kill him.
Hate him. Fear him. Kill him.
Again.
Hate him. Fear him. Kill him.
Hate him, fear him, kill him. In a frightening yet familiar way, this is the story of all the trouble we know in this world. All the trouble, all the problems, all the stresses and strains, the feuds, the fights. Without thought, we fear. Without reason, we hate. Without mercy, we kill. I shall return shortly with Act 3. The mind of man, said Mr. Conrad, is capable of anything because everything is in it. All the past as well as all the future. Yes, everything is in the human mind because everything can be put into the human mind. Everything that's good as well as everything that's evil. And who we are, what we are, depends on how we control the mixture. Which is why some of us are saints and some of us are sinners. And most of us hover somewhere in between. Hate, violence, false ambition, violence, vanity, intolerance, violence, malice, violence. Do you hear me, Raya? You will go back there in time, across the galaxy,
to the dwarf star So, to the third planet.
I understand.
To meet this man, the messenger, Lawrence.
Yes.
And you know what a weapon is.
Yes.
This weapon.
I accept it.
You know its purpose, how it is employed.
I do.
You are familiar with feelings of violence.
I am prepared to kill.
You know how to kill.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You are ready to be transcended through time and space to perform your mission.
Will you stop jabbering at me?
It is well for you to understand the philosophy of your mission.
What is there to understand? He has to be killed. And that's all there is to it.
And you are sure you shall be able to without compunction?
I can kill him as easily as crushing a mosquito. What is he? Vermin. Trash.
And you are aware of why you must do it.
I am doing it because I want to do it. I want the joy of fooling him, of playing a trick on him. I want to feel the gun in my hand.
Raya.
See? It is made of steel, cold steel. But it sends red, hot, raging fires into the blood. This is death. And he will see it. Before he can cry out, move away, defend himself, he will meet his death.
Raya, you must control yourself.
In that split second, he will see his death. And then I will take away his life.
Amora, set the transcender. She must go now. Right now.
Yes. I was programmed. Programmed. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I do.
My mind was seething, raging, all through the transcending. You can understand.
Yes, of course.
But then, in order to get into the Temple of the Power, it was required of me to perform another evil. Deceit. There were thousands assembled. Hundreds clamored for his attention. And I used my body.
What?
The promise. The implied promise of my body to seduce him. I was trembling with fear, hate, violence as I was brought before the messenger. And then he touched me. And I looked into his eyes. My heart almost stopped beating. In his eyes was all the hate and violence that had been programmed into me. The gun was in my hand. The fire was in my blood. And there had to be the inevitable climax of death.
I understand.
Afterwards, I was empty of all feeling, of all thought. Like a machine that has no more fuel.
Oh, big casino.
What does that mean?
It means there won't be a dry eye in the house.
What are you saying?
That is our story. That is our defense. A visitor from another world.
It's true.
Okay, yes, it could be true. You know, you look as if you could be from somewhere else. Yeah, they'll even half believe it.
But I am from somewhere else.
Yeah, sure. Okay, now, let's get to work. Now, you must really tell me where you come from.
But I have told you.
Look, we start all over again. Your picture, it's been on the news and the papers. It's been all over the media. A face like yours, well, somebody will be bound to recognize it. Now, the first thing you know, the prosecutor will say, Raya from the planet Serenity? Now, isn't it a fact that you're actually Gertrude Smith from Jersey City? Now, I have to be ready for that.
But I am Raya from Serenity.
Yes, but what if you are Gertrude Smith or Judy O'Grady?
But I am not.
Well, what if he has the documents to prove you are?
There are no documents.
Well, there has to be a social security number.
What is that?
You mean you've never had a job?
A job?
Oh, let us get elementary. There has to be a birth certificate.
No.
Wait, are you telling me you were never born?
We must not do this.
Do what?
Fight.
This isn't a fight. We're having a
But
discussion.
there's violence in it.
We only want to arrive at a meeting of the minds.
There's violence and anger.
Look, now, there is nothing personal.
This is how I was programmed.
Oh, come on now, will you?
From anger to violence
Just
to
listen,
murder.
listen.
The steps are logical.
Simmer down.
The way is programmed. Don't let me take it again. I can kill. I killed once. I can kill again. Right now. Right here. I can kill.
No. It's all right. It's all right. No one's fighting with you. Everything is all right. It's just fine. You'll see.
I don't know what's the matter with me. I don't know. The elder said I would be reprogrammed, brought back home. When are they going to do it? When? The elder wouldn't lie to me.
Oh, no, of course not.
He wouldn't break his promise.
No, never.
Oh, maybe he can't keep it. This kind of thing, it's never been done before. Maybe they don't know how to reprogram.
Look, I'll take care of
I
you.
want to go home.
Make the best of it. You're home now. Raya, we go to trial in 2 weeks. If I play this right, half the jury will actually think you come from another planet, and the other half will think you're nuts. But nobody will vote to find you guilty. Oh, what a trial that's going to be.
There isn't going to be a trial. I'm leaving.
Oh, now don't start that again.
Last night, it happened.
What happened?
The reprogramming. Finally. And now I can go home any time I like. Finally, I am Raya again. Raya of Serenity.
Okay, keep it up. It all helps the cause.
Would you like to come with me
Where?
to Serenity?
No, I don't think so.
The reason I ask is because you're in love with me.
Well, yes. Yes, that's true, I guess. It wasn't hard to fall in love with you. You know, we've really been very close, and yes, I'm in love with you.
It's not much of a love right now.
Oh, don't say that.
But it could grow, develop, mature. It could become the kind of love we know on Serenity.
Oh, what kind of love is that?
The kind of love I'm afraid you're not ready for. Right now, there are other things inside of you that are stronger.
Well, what do you mean?
Ambition, vanity. I saw them on your face last night. I see them now. That's why I want to help you. That's why I could love you. I am going home. You may come with me. You will be reprogrammed in Serenity.
Just save that act for the jury.
Is it so hard to give them up? Vanity, ambition?
But your case is going to make me.
It will destroy you. I will be gone. You will be held responsible for my disappearance.
What are you talking about?
They will say you helped me escape. You then become an accessory to my crime. What will you tell them? That I was transcended back to Serenity? If they believe you, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. If they don't, you'll spend it in an asylum. You say you're in love with me.
I am. When this case is over, I'll marry you. I'll take care of you for the rest of your life.
But you're the one who needs caring for. Oh, leave this foolish, dangerous, violent world. Come with me. Come to Serenity. No. I see you're not ready. I thought I could shorten the time, but that's not possible. I suppose you really need 3,000 years. I'm sorry for what must happen to you.
Nothing is going to happen to me.
Arthur, will you kiss me goodbye?
I've always wanted to kiss you.
It will be our first kiss and our last.
Raya? 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 Where are you? Raya!
All
I'll call you guard when I want you. Mr. Stillman, can we talk this morning?
About what, Lieutenant?
Why don't you make it easy on yourself? The fact is, you did help her to escape.
The fact?
Well, the guard, Jerry, right down the corridor, he heard her say, "Will you kiss me goodbye?"
All right. Why should you believe me? After all, I refused to believe her.
Do you want to give up everything?
She asked me to, and I said no. And in the end, I had to give it up anyway. And for nothing.
It doesn't have to be for nothing. You're a lawyer. You know how things go. One hand washes the other. You give, you get. How did she escape? Where'd she go?
She returned to Serenity.
Yeah. Jerry, I'll come back later. Meanwhile, Mr. Stillman, you just think about it. I mean, really think about it.
Think about it. I think about it all the time. Perhaps one day, when every single lingering trace of malice, hatred, and violence is gone, perhaps I shall arrive there. I shall arrive at Serenity.
We don't know if he ever did, but then perhaps no one ever does. It could very well be that Serenity is not a place, but an idea, a challenge, a way of life. I hope things remain serene until I return in just a few minutes. They say the optimist believes we live in the best of all possible worlds, and the pessimist is afraid that this is true. But that's only if we assume that the world we know is the only world there is. Is there another one? Somewhere out there, revolving around a star, just as we revolve around our own? And if so, could it be better? Worse? About the same? Probably. Our cast included Earl Hammond, Gordon Heath, and Evie Juster. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by ARM, Allergy Relief Medicine, and True Value Hardware Stores. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Sunday night with Old Time Radio. We're running late, just as we did last week. We'll simply say, have a lovely Valentine's Day.
Loving you as I do, I'm so sad leaving you, but we part. Cheer up and wear a smile, I'll just be gone a while, my sweetheart. Auf Wiedersehen, we'll meet again, so please don't say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen, no tears in vain, what need is there to cry? True love always finds a way. We will love and laugh someday. sane. We'll meet again, so please don't say goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen, no tears in vain. What need is there to cry? True love always finds a way. We will love and laugh someday. Auf Wiedersehen, we'll meet again. So please don't say goodbye.
This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.